Live broadcast of Naruto begins with a movie The Death of Naruto. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 276. Everyone else fought to the death to replace Orochimaru's subordinates, but it was Naruto who got into trouble in the end. Before, they were enemies, but now they are allies, so Naruto can't fight to his heart's content. Sasuke and Naruto both like to cheer themselves up through memories, except that one feels hatred and the other feels protection. If it weren't for Naruto's persistent attitude, Sasuke wouldn't have thought so. He even wanted to kill Naruto just now, although he didn't stop Sasuke from going to Orochimaru. At least his attitude changed, which can be considered a step forward for Naruto. It turns out that even if Orochimaru has a unique way of training, it is still difficult for him to catch up with Itachi's strength in just a few years. Well, after all, Sasuke is still in the dream that Itachi wove for him, so it's normal to have such thoughts. The brightness of the sky curtain decreased as Sasuke walked into the darkness, but it lit up again the next second and a new picture appeared. In a maze-like underground space, Naruto, Sakura, and Yamato were running quickly following Sai's chakra, and soon they found him in a collapsed corridor. The moment Sakura saw Sai, she immediately showed anger on her face, leaving Naruto and Yamato behind, rushed up and grabbed Sai's collar and asked angrily, "What is your purpose? How many times do you want to betray us?" "It's Sakura." A familiar voice interrupted Sakura's questioning. She paused in her anger, then turned her head stiffly to look above the exploded corridor, and involuntarily let go of Sai's collar. Sasuke. This outfit looks like the next is the story of Naruto and his friend's youth. 3-4-person team. In addition to Naruto and Sakura, the other two have appeared before. One uses wood release, the other paints. Why is Sakura so angry? Did they have an internal conflict? Purpose? Betrayal? Can you also show what happened before? Today is a special show for Naruto, Sasuke and Sakura, the others are just supporting roles. Looking at Sakura's reaction, isn't this the first time they've met since Sasuke left the village? Hearing this name, Naruto, who was still in the passage, trembled slightly, but he quickly came to his senses and rushed to the place where the passage collapsed. His heartbeat gradually accelerated, and he fell halfway because of his restlessness, but Naruto didn't care at all, just to rush out of this dark passage as soon as possible and see the person he was thinking about. The blinding sunlight made it difficult for Naruto to open his eyes, but he quickly adjusted and saw the figure above him clearly, and gently called out his name, Sasuke. Sasuke, wearing a loose kimono, looked at him expressionlessly for a moment, and said in a flat tone, "It's Naruto. You're here too." This. Naruto, your reaction is a bit exaggerated, you even tripped. It's been at least a few years since we last met, but your obsession is still so deep. Wow. Sasuke's outfit is so unrestrained, with his breasts exposed. The one I fought with Itachi before, weren't you dressed quite tightly before? Why are you so unruly here? How cool it is here, how embarrassed it will be when fighting Itachi later. Tisk, such a cocky tone, very confident uchiha Sasuke. So Kakashi is here too. The tone was like chatting with family, but there was no joy after a long separation. The one who answered Sasuke's question was Yamato, who walked out of the passage later. It's a pity that Kakashi Sr. didn't come. I'm the agent for now. Next, Kakashi's team will take you back to Konoha. Kakashi's team. Sasuke muttered as he looked at the four people in front of him. Suddenly Sai pulled out the short knife from his back and pointed it at Sasuke. Sakura was furious again and was about to scold him, but she didn't expect Sasuke to give an unexpected explanation. Is he the one who replaced me? There's another naive guy. He said something about protecting the bond between me and Naruto. Ha. This scene is interesting. Sasuke looks at the four people standing together opposite him. Doesn't he feel like an outsider? He fought with Naruto like that before. Do you think Sasuke would care about this kind of thing? Sai, this new guy not only looks a bit like Sasuke, but also the names are similar. Huh? What the hell? You guys bring a wingman with you on a mission. Protecting the bond between Naruto and Sasuke? Do you guys in Konoha accept such abstract missions? No wonder Sakura is angry. Why is she only protecting Naruto and Sasuke? Doesn't her bond with Sasuke have any value to protect? Seriously, this guy named Sai looks dumbfounded. I didn't expect him to be as enthusiastic as Naruto. Okay, stop joking, it's obviously not the case. Didn't you see Naruto and the other three were all surprised? Because Danzo was imprisoned, Sai, who had no mission and was temporarily on standby at home, tilted his head and looked at Sasuke's strange speech on the screen, and said to himself, Sais. Sakura showed a confused expression, because Sai's mission was to assassinate Sasuke. Sai did not hide it and said directly, my secret mission is indeed to assassinate Sasuke, but the order doesn't matter anymore. Now I want to act according to my own will, because Naruto reminded me of the feelings I felt before, and I think that seems to be very important. Although I don't know you very well, there must be a reason why Naruto and Sakura tried so hard to find this place for you. They don't want to give up their bond with you and try hard to maintain this relationship. Although I don't understand it very well, Sasuke, you should know why they did this, right? Assassinate Sasuke. Logically speaking, Naruto and his mission should have been received from Tsunade, so this practice that contradicts the mission issued by the Hokage, wouldn't it be Danzo's trick again? How could Danzo's subordinates be so kind-hearted? Oh, it turns out that they were influenced by Naruto. No wonder, orders don't matter anymore. I'm not surprised at all that a ninja would say such a thing. Tisk tisk, Uzumaki Naruto, Chapter 277. Aren't you Konoha people ashamed to say such things? You keep talking about bonds and feelings in front of the person involved. As a bystander, I am scratching my toes. I don't know about others, but Naruto definitely won't do that. Sai was full of questions. Is this what he could say? What is it? Important feelings. Sai raised his hand to his chin and thought, then turned his eyes to the picture book on the table. Brother. Yes, I know, that's why I want to cut off this bond. Sasuke, who had been indifferent, suddenly showed a cold look. I have other bonds, that is hatred for my brother. Too many bonds will only make you confused, and strong thoughts and cherished feelings will only make you vulnerable. Sasuke's answer reminded Naruto of their previous conversation in the Valley of the End. He could only ask back sadly and angrily, since you said so. Since you said so, then why, at that time, why didn't you kill me? Do you think that will cut off all the bonds, Sasuke? Sasuke's answer is that he knows, which means that he made the choice after careful consideration. It will not be easy to make him turn back. It's a small matter. Anyway, we will know the truth about Uchiha later. This kind of difficulty is not worth mentioning. Naruto, you finally saved your life, so please be more restrained. He should be thankful that he persuaded Sasuke a little at that time, otherwise he would not have the opportunity to say these words here now. At that time, whether Naruto lived or died really depended on Sasuke's thoughts. The reason is very simple. It's not that I can't sever the bond between you and me. Sasuke closed his eyes and recalled the conditions for opening the Mangekyou that Itachi had told him, and then answered Naruto's question. I just don't want to get power according to the method he told me. Naruto naturally didn't understand this incoherent answer, and Sasuke didn't intend to explain in detail. He directly said that he saved Naruto's life at that time just on a whim. Suddenly, Sasuke came to Naruto in an instant, so fast that even Yamato was shocked. Sasuke put one hand on his waist and the other on Naruto's shoulder, and said in Naruto's ear in a half-hug posture, speaking of which, don't you dream of becoming a Hokage? If you have time to chase me, you might as well practice, right, Naruto? Itachi's words are just excuses. Sasuke probably couldn't do it to Naruto at that time. The one who used the wood escape was the team leader, right? Even he thought Sasuke was fast. Isn't it strange? He will kill Orochimaru soon and then seek revenge on Itachi. Hey. Talk nicely and don't touch me. This guy is really pretending, then why does this relaxed posture look so annoying? Nonsense, of course you have to look cooler when you have the upper hand. Nice pose, did Orochimaru teach you? So this time, I can also do it on a whim. Sasuke kept half-hugging Naruto and drew out a Kusanagi sword from his waist with his right hand. Take your life. Sasuke's action made Naruto's pupils tremble, but the next second he showed a firm look. How can a guy who can't even save his own companions be a Hokage? Right, Sasuke. Sasuke snorted coldly, turned his wrist without any hesitation and stabbed the Kusanagi sword at Naruto. Sai, who had been on guard, quickly stepped forward and grabbed Sasuke's wrist to stop his attack. Sasuke showed no expression at all, and even said to Sai in a commentary tone, this defense method is correct. How credible is Sasuke's statement that he wants to kill Naruto? At least more than the last time in the Valley of the End. After all, they haven't seen each other for 2 or 3 years. Sasuke doesn't have the obsession with him like Naruto does. Maybe he really wants to use him to test his sword. Naruto's mood swings are a bit strange. He was so excited when he questioned why Sasuke didn't kill him, but when Sasuke really drew his sword and prepared to do it, he calmed down. Maybe, because of the mention of the Hokage. No, this guy is really arrogant. What's wrong with his tone of instruction? This Sagi is quite skilled. Naruto naturally wouldn't sit there and wait for death. He followed Sagi's movements and grabbed Sasuke's left arm that was on his shoulder. He turned over and jumped up, thus restricting the movement of his 2 hands. Yamato seized the opportunity created by the two and stretched out a wooden stick towards Sasuke, trying to capture and restrain him. Suddenly, Sasuke made a piercing sound all over his body, and in a flash of lightning, he easily repelled Naruto and Sagi, and even Yamato's wood release was shattered. Looking at Sasuke surrounded by lightning, Sakura was startled at first, but then she remembered her previous promise to Naruto, gritted her teeth and clenched her fists to attack Sasuke. Looking at Sakura rushing towards him, Sasuke raised the Kusanagi sword with Chidori attached to it and pointed it at her with an indifferent expression. Naruto actually cooperated with the others. Their mission is to bring Sasuke back, so why would it be strange for them to attack together? The Chidori wrapped around his body. I've never seen Sasuke use this move before. The untold ninjutsu, isn't it specially developed to restrain Naruto's close combat? Sakura actually made up her mind to attack. I thought she wouldn't be able to do it. It's still too reckless. Sasuke has no intention of holding back, just rushing straight forward like this. Arrogant Sasuke, really good at pretending. Naruto muttered unhappily. He didn't care much about being knocked down, but felt that Sasuke's nonchalant attitude was annoying. Yamato saw that Sasuke didn't intend to hold back, and quickly stepped forward to block Sakura. However, he was unable to resist the sharp Chidori blade in a hurry. The kunai in Yamato's hand was directly cut off, and then his shoulder was pierced, and the whole person was nailed on a piece of gravel. This defense method is really a failure. Sasuke stood in front of Yamato with a calm face, holding the knife in one hand and commented calmly. Because of the Chidori on Kusanagi's sword, Yamato was paralyzed and unable to move. Chapter 278. After removing his threat, Sasuke turned his attention to Naruto. At this time, due to the loss of the necklace and the emotional ups and downs, Naruto has already shown the characteristics of a tailed beast. Wow! What a mockery! I will say the same to him after I defeat the enemy in the future. This team leader who uses wood release is not good. He has no vision at all and his ability to deal with it is a bit poor. Strange, is Sasuke so strong that even a Jounin can't last a round in his hands? Isn't it because he is worried about Naruto and Sakura that he can't use his full strength? Hey, Naruto's speed of tailing the beast is too fast. The scene turned to Naruto's consciousness space, and Naruto looked at the gloomy face of the person in front of him. The sealed door, the voice of Nine-Tailed Fox persuading and bewitching came from inside the door. Haha, this is a good opportunity, Naruto, let him see the power of you and me. Suddenly, dense red bubbles floated in the water in front of the door, and in a moment they formed the shape of Nine-Tailed Fox's head and 2 front paws. What's wrong? What are you hesitating about? You really need my power, right? Come on. Who do you want to kill? Naruto rejected Nine-Tailed Fox's ill-intentioned help with a look of rejection, and Nine-Tailed Fox laughed out loud. Ho ha ho ha. Who is it that always lets I contribute my strength? You should understand that you can't do anything by yourself. Just remove the seal. Then I will give you all my strength. By the way, can every true Yuriki enter the sealed space in his body like Naruto? The environment of this sealed space is too bad. The Nine-Tails is here again. What is its relationship with Naruto? Why is it always so eager to send its strength out? It seems to have bad intentions. It probably wants to wear down Naruto by continuously sending its own chakra. The Nine-Tails is not good at speaking. Who can be fooled by this level of bewitchment? Naruto's attitude towards the Nine-Tails is indeed a bit strange. He was very casual when using the power of the tailed beasts before. Why does he seem to be very repulsive now? What happened? What else can the negative impact of the power of the tailed beasts be? Going berserk. At this time, Naruto didn't want to argue with the Nine-Tails. He raised his hand to suppress the overflowing chakra in front of him back into the seal, but he didn't expect that an arm that shouldn't appear appeared in front of the Nine-Tails before him. Naruto and Kyuubi were both shocked, But Sasuke completely ignored their reactions and looked at Kyuubi's chakra with interest. I can see it now. Is this your unknown power? I didn't expect you to have such a thing in your body. According to the records of Uchiha, Sasuke recognized Kyuubi's identity. Kyuubi also looked at his bright red eyes inside. That pupil power and chakra that is more ominous than mine are just like Uchiha Madara before. Huh? What's going on? Why is Sasuke here? If this is a sealed space or consciousness space in Naruto's body, then he can probably appear here through illusions. Isn't the secret of the Yamanaka clan for this? And as a family famous for illusions, it's not surprising that Sasuke can do something similar. Sasuke is so cool. From his expression, it seems that he doesn't even care about the Nine Tails. Huh. Interesting, the Nine Tails actually said that his chakra is more ominous than his. However, Sasuke had no intention of chatting with the Nine Tails. He directly crushed the chakra in front of him and interrupted the Nine Tails' speech. As if he understood the Uchiha's character, the Nine Tails didn't get angry, and even gave advice. I didn't expect you to be able to suppress my power. This is probably the last time we meet, so I have something to tell you. Don't kill Naruto. Otherwise, you will regret it. While Sasuke was shifting his attention to Naruto, Yamato used wood release to push the Kusanagi sword out of the wound, and then used wood release, wood wall to trap Sasuke, but the next second Sasuke broke through the top and jumped back to the walkway. I don't understand this again. Why did the Nine Tails persuade Sasuke not to kill Naruto? If the Jinchuriki dies, the tailed beast will also die. Don't you know that? But even if the tailed beast dies, it will be resurrected somewhere in the ninja world after a while. Isn't it good to escape the seal in this way? It's really strange. The nine-tailed fox undoubtedly has ill will towards Naruto, but it helps him from time to time. I don't know what it's thinking. Hey, maybe the nine-tailed fox saw through Sasuke's character and deliberately provoked him in this way to make him kill Naruto. By the way, is this Johnny named Yamato really using wood release? How come he looks so fragile, and was pierced by Sasuke in one shot? It's the same lightning release. Some people can use it to collapse a mountain, while others can only use it to stab the heart. So who stipulates that those who use wood release must be as powerful as the first generation Hokage? A team of 4 can't do anything to Sasuke. There's no way. Naruto and Sakura can't show their strength at all at this moment. The other two should probably pay attention to their emotions. Besides, Sasuke is not weak. Sasuke, looking at Sasuke who escaped from the encirclement, Naruto roared angrily, "Why are you still stubborn? Your body will soon be taken away by Orochimaru, so what?" Sasuke asked indifferently, looking at Naruto who was shaking with anger. Sasuke once again emphasized his desire for revenge. "You are still like a child, Naruto. Revenge is everything to me. As long as this goal can be achieved, no matter what I become, or what the world becomes, it is none of my business. Let me make it clear, now neither I nor Orochimaru are Itachi's opponents, but if I give my body to Orochimaru, I can get enough power to defeat Itachi, and my life. Let him do whatever he wants." See, when Sasuke wanted to kill him, he didn't take it seriously at all, but when it came to Sasuke's safety, Naruto immediately got excited. Naruto is always like this, always taking other people's affairs more seriously than his own. Chapter 279. Sasuke is quite self-aware now. He knows that he is no match for Itachi. I don't know what happened later that made him so blindly confident. Even Orochimaru lost to him. It's understandable that he became a little arrogant. To be honest, Orochimaru doesn't look like the kind of person who will keep his promise. After all, he wanted to deceive Tsunade to heal his hands. It's a bit wrong for Sasuke to entrust his hopes of revenge to him, so he killed Orochimaru and then went up himself. Although he didn't escape Itachi's arrangement after all, Naruto and Sakura both showed incredible expressions. Although Yamato didn't want to use heavy hands on Sasuke in front of them, it was impossible to complete the task in his current state of restraint, so he said frankly that he would attack seriously. Sasuke naturally heard what Yamato said. Facing their endless entanglement, Sasuke showed an impatient look. After forming a seal, he raised his hand, as if he wanted to use some powerful moves to catch them all, but he was stopped by Orochimaru who suddenly appeared. Kabuto also appeared and persuaded him, using the reason of letting Naruto and the others distract the attention of the Akatsuki organization, and finally got Sasuke to stop. Yamato is quite confident. You can't tell that it was him who was beaten so badly by Sasuke just now. Snickering, Even if he can't reach the level of the first Hokage, since he is a wood escape, he must be at least quite capable. I feel that he may not be Sasuke's opponent. If Naruto and Sakura can cheer up a little, they may be able to bring him back to Konoha. Sasuke is getting impatient. It will be dangerous if Naruto and Sakura keep treating him as a partner. Without knowing the truth about the Uchiha, although Sasuke has no hatred for Naruto and the others, but don't expect Orochimaru to train him into a good boy. He might kill Naruto and the others. Orochimaru can move his hands now. Have the injuries on both hands been healed? Kabuto has given Sasuke a reason to let Naruto and the others go. After all, for Sasuke now, it's just a matter of his mind whether he wants to kill or not. Sasuke put his sword back into the sheath, stared at Naruto silently for a moment, and then disappeared like clouds and mist along with Orochimaru and Kabuto. Naruto was powerless to stop him and could only watch Sasuke disappear. Then he knelt on the ground with a frustrated and sad expression. I still couldn't stop him. I'm really too weak. Naruto bent his body, put his forehead against the ground and cried very cowardly. No matter how much you cry, you can't cry Sasuke back. Sakura's calm voice reached Naruto's ears, even though she was also crying. I'm still here. I want to get stronger with you. Tisk tisk, this meaningful eye contact. Is Sakura just a spice between you? Sasuke doesn't even look at her. Although someone has said it before, I still want to say that there is something wrong with this keyword today. Compared with Naruto and Sasuke, Sakura really has no sense of existence. Naruto is crying again. Wow, crying so sadly. The fearless Naruto has been hit so hard that he doubts his life and actually thinks he is weak. This time, Sakura is the one who is stronger. After a few years, Naruto, why have you regressed? Damn it, don't show me these embarrassing scenes again. Naruto gritted his teeth with some toothache. Didn't he just fail to bring Sasuke back to Konoha? He could just work harder next time. Why did he cry like that? Sakura leaned against another tree with a bit of frustration, and her whole body turned gray and white. No one cares more about another boy than the boy she likes, and it is even more devastating to a girl who is full of thoughts about love. What went wrong? We were obviously acting together. They were obviously arguing all the time. Why am I not as good as Naruto in Sasuke's eyes? Is it really because he is stronger? Sasuke looked at Naruto and Sakura crying on the sky curtain without any sadness or joy. Sasuke was not completely unmoved by their attention to him, but compared to that little bit of relief, Sasuke, whose life had always been arranged by Itachi, no longer wanted to let others control his life. Naruto and Sakura's actions were indeed well-intentioned, but for Sasuke now, that was the most obvious thing: interference. This is something Sasuke cannot accept no matter what. Kakashi observed the emotional changes of the three people from beginning to end. Although he did not have the ability to read minds, he could guess their thoughts based on their past performances. Kakashi was very troubled by this and did not know how to ease their awkward atmosphere. Alice. After all, this is my first time as a coaching Jonin. Is it really okay to assign me such a complicated team for the first time? The third story was quite short. Before the audience could complain, the sky curtain directly entered the fourth story. Behind a turbulent waterfall in the mountain stream, there is a hidden cave hidden in it. Deep in the cave, a black figure is sitting cross-legged. The figure stood up, took off his shirt and walked towards the cave entrance. His true appearance was revealed in the light from outside the cave. It turned out to be Uchiha Sasuke, who was temporarily resting here. He walked to the cave entrance with his upper body naked, lowered his head and let the waterfall wash his hair. At the same time, Sasuke's right hand held his left wrist, and the sound of the chirping birds suddenly released in his claw-like left hand. The surging lightning swept across the water and splashed a burst of water. Then the scene changed, and Sasuke, who was dressed neatly again, stood on the cliff above the waterfall and looked at the mountains and the sea in the distance without saying a word. I haven't reacted yet, and the last story has ended. Is Shinopsi's going to show all the experiences of Naruto, Sasuke and Sakura appearing in the same occasion at the same time? What's the point of this? After all, what is the purpose of Shinopsi broadcasting these stories? This thing has appeared for several months, and no one has really figured out what it is. Save your energy. This problem should be the biggest mystery in the ninja world now. Even if someone knows it, they won't tell it. Chapter 280. At first I thought it was a warning of the future, But you should have noticed that the enemies in some of these stories are actually insignificant compared to the 5 major ninja villages. Later I thought it was a story about Naruto Uzumaki, and even thought it was a propaganda strategy by Konoha, but there were other people's stories mixed in. And now there is a story like the last one that I don't know what to say. Anyway, I don't want to waste my brain to continue thinking about this problem. Yeah, why think so much? I'll just watch whatever appears on the sky curtain. Well, as long as it doesn't affect my life, it's fine. Is Sasuke training here? Just him? Isn't Orochimaru watching him? Orochimaru is really careless. Instead of tying this soul container to his side, he lets him run around. He doesn't even consider the possibility that he won't come back after learning the skills. On the vast blue sea, a strange-looking fleet is slowly moving in a certain direction. The crew members on the ship are all masked. They are wearing standard uniforms, and the forward guards on their foreheads are engraved with a symbol that has been swept into the dust of history. At the command of a commander, these ninjas dressed in the same way rush to the deck with a wing-like equipment on their backs. They are in groups of 2 and are ejected by a mechanical device on the ship. After being ejected, the equipment on the back quickly unfolds into wings and flies into the sky with the wearer. Then a flying device with wings and several ninjas on board also flies into the sky behind them. Another fleet. This reminds me of a bumpkin from another continent. Ha, Hyde is very cool. Did they say that Hyde's fleet was pulled back by the Sand Village? It's been a long time, and no one has found Hyde's traces until now. It was okay when we first knew about them, but who would care about them now? As long as you keep an eye on the Grayer mine, what kind of waves can such a small character cause? Let's talk about this fleet now. It seems that the technical strength is also very high. Huh? Why do I seem to have seen this forward protector there? This seems to be Sky Ninja. A small ninja village that appeared during World War II, like a lunatic, provoked the 5 major ninja countries at the same time, and then there was no more. So brave, challenged the 5 major ninja countries at the same time. Among the enemies currently displayed on the sky, it seems that only the Akatsuki organization has accomplished this feat, and it is not easy for the 5 major countries to deal with them. They can all fly, no wonder it is called the Sky Ninja Village. Air combat ninjas are difficult to deal with. How did they deal with them during World War II? They can't fly in the sky all the time. They have to land. We can solve the problem after finding their nest. I remember that their equipment was very simple at that time, not as advanced as it is now on the sky. Using the same method may not succeed, even if the equipment is more advanced. No one really thinks that they can defeat the 5 major ninja countries with some powerful weapons. When the Sky Ninja fleet appeared on the sky, Shannon, who was practicing medicine in the Lightning Country as a doctor, looked extremely ugly. Today is the 7th time I have watched the movie in the past few months. What is the fate of the so-called villains who appeared in the previous 6 times? Even if Shannon did not go to investigate specifically, he knew that their situation was very bad. The only 2 exceptions were the Akatsuki organization, which was full of experts, and Orochimaru, who was completely missing. The Sky Ninja village led by Shannon obviously did not have such conditions. After the sky curtain was exposed, being wiped out seemed to have become their inevitable ending. This was naturally unacceptable to Shannon, who had strong ambitions. No. It can't end like this. Let me think about it, there must be a way. Shannon desperately turned his brain to think about countermeasures and ways out, while taking steps to move quickly towards the land of fire. In any case, the man-made tailed beast Zero Tail must be mastered first. These people flew across the sea to the land, flew over the mountains, and then flew over the grasslands and forests, and finally flew over a village. The familiar Hawkeye Rock pointed out the location here, Konoha. The villagers of Konoha looked at the figures passing through the sky in doubt. Before the village gave a warning, the Sky Ninja flying in the sky suddenly dropped a bomb with a detonating tag and launched an attack. Instantly, the flames shot up into the sky and spread, and a large number of unprepared villagers were caught off guard and died. The wounded were heavy, and the buildings collapsed one after another in the violent explosions, killing and injuring a large number of villagers. Soaring Ninja, awesome. Wow. They attacked Konoha head-on. Now I know how brave they are. So far, only Orochimaru and Tsunagakure have joined forces to break into Konoha. These Zorin ninjas have made a big splash this time. Sasuke, you who are going to destroy Konoha should learn well. Someone has already set an example for you. It's just destroying some buildings in Konoha. It may not even be considered a serious injury to Konoha. It will be fine in 2 days. Indeed, although the attack of the Sauron ninjas was sudden and without any signs, in addition to apart from destroying some buildings and hurting some villagers, it should have no impact on Konoha's combat power. In the Hokage's office, Tsunade looked at everything happening outside the window with bloodshot eyes, and angrily gave an order to Shizune. Emergency alert, 3rd stage. In the village, some ninjas with faster reactions have begun to counterattack, but due to their lack of experience in fighting with air combat ninjas, their attacks have not yet landed on the enemy, and the enemy has already launched a wave of barrage attacks at them. Although they only fired a large number of kunai, they also made Konoha's ninjas tired of dodging and unable to continue to fight back. On the street, Choji, who was knocked to the ground by the impact of the explosion, guessed that the opponent used wind escape to gain the ability to fly. While rescuing the villagers, Niji further analyzed the principle of the opponent's flight through observation. Tsunade's weakness in specializing in physical skills is exposed. Facing this kind of flying enemy, it is hard for her to attack, or even whether she can hit the enemy. What you said, in this situation, that physical skill type ninja will not find it difficult to deal with. Chapter 281. It's difficult. Just because the enemy can fly, Konoha is in such a mess. These air ninjas are well equipped. Compared with a few kunai fired sporadically by Konoha, they are holding an unknown thing and pouring it out. These small ninja villages like to do this kind of fancy things, but you can't deny that their number of attacks in the same period of time far exceeds that of Konoha. Although it doesn't work in high-end battles, it is still very effective in the middle and lower levels. Niji has explained the principles of their flight. Can we imitate the appearance of the device behind them and develop similar equipment? If we can do it, then the future war situation may change. The advantage of flying is really too great. Shikamaru, who also lacks anti-aircraft means, can't do anything to these enemies for a while and can only watch them destroy the village. The enemy's skilled air attack reminded Tsunade of the enemies she had encountered in the past wars. Facing Shizune's confusion, Tsunade briefly introduced her. During the Second Shinobi World War, there was a group of ninjas who used chakra to perform flying techniques. They called themselves the Kingdom of the Sky and fought against the 5 major ninja nations. In the end, they were destroyed by Konoha. While Tsunade was telling the story, the enemy's attack did not stop. They indiscriminately attacked the villagers, ninjas, and various buildings in the village. Various ninja tools were used in turn. It was not until the flying vehicle that accompanied the team came over Konoha and blew up a large area of the city with a chakra cannon that the attack was completely over. Shikamaru's plan is useless in this situation. Air combat ninjas must be dealt with by air combat ninjas. Konoha doesn't seem to have this type of ninjas. Sai, isn't that the white-skinned guy one of them? Sagakure has Gaara, Iwagakure has the 3rd Tsuchikage, do Kumagakure and Mistgakure have any? I don't have much impression. Air combat ninjas are the least numerous type of ninjas. Although they are difficult to deal with, there are ways to deal with them if you think about it. How desperate are these people in the Kingdom of the Sky to provoke the 5 major countries at the same time? That's why they disappeared so quickly. They made a splash during World War II, and then there was no movement. You know what? Although they are all very conventional attacks such as kunai and explosions, the effects are surprisingly good under the effect of their ninja tools. That strange device flying in the sky something. Although I don't know the principle, from the picture performance, it seems to convert the chakra of the person on it into an attack and release it. There should be some kind of restriction, otherwise, if there are a few more shots, the whole Konoha will be gone. Damn it. Naruto looked at the Konoha that was wantonly destroyed on the sky angrily, and punched the ground angrily. They actually ran to Konoha to make trouble. What are you doing? Shoot them down. The enemy swaggered back and left Konoha's airspace, and even fired a few kunai at the Hokage building as a provocation before retreating. At this time, Naruto, who had arrived late, came to the most severely damaged area. He looked at the ruins in front of him and suppressed his anger. What's going on? Just as Naruto was about to set out to search for the enemy's traces, a 50-year-old man with a turban and waist-length white hair in the ruins suddenly called out to him, "Boy, come and help." The old man half-crouched and carried a pillar to pry a stone slab, preparing to rescue the survivors below. Although Naruto wanted to chase the enemy, he really couldn't ignore the people in front of him who needed help, so he could only reluctantly come to the old man and help him rescue the injured in the ruins. "You are so naughty, Air Ninja, you think you are not dying fast enough, So you provoke the Hokage like this. From the fact that they dare to attack Konoha, we can see that they don't care about this kind of thing. Naruto was in Konoha, and he actually waited until the enemy's attack was over before showing up. Even if he showed up earlier, he couldn't do anything to those air ninjas. As far as I remember, Naruto's only long-range move under normal circumstances seems to be the Rasen Shuriken. There are so many enemies, how many can he hit? Where did all the Konoha ninjas die? You actually let an ordinary person save people here. The Konoha ninjas are waiting to be rescued, ha ha ha. The old man pressed the chest of the injured to check the injury. Naruto couldn't understand his movements and urged him to send the injured to the hospital. After the examination, the old man judged that the injured could not make it to the hospital, so he took out a medical equipment and performed surgery on him on the spot. Okay, just send him to the hospital. The old man quickly relieved the life crisis of the injured and ordered Naruto. Although Naruto didn't mind his attitude of giving orders, he said that he wanted to chase the enemy and was not very willing to accept the old man's entrustment. Give up, it's like a wild cat running on the ground trying to pounce on a crow flying in the sky. Naruto, who was compared to a wild cat, was quite unconvinced, but the old man didn't care about his mood and told his own thoughts. The result is that he fell to the ground and broke into pulp. The most important thing now is to find those who can be saved as much as possible. The battle is carried out after saving people, right? Huh? This old man. I seem to have seen. Isn't this Dr. Shannon? I saw him when I was on a mission in the land of Earth. He is a doctor who travels around the ninja world and saves people everywhere. He is an old man with a background. I thought he was just an ordinary villager of Konoha. It seems that he will have a role to play next. It is rare that since the development of medical ninjutsu, there are still doctors who study traditional medicine. From the perspective of a medical ninja, his skills are good. Naruto's tactical vision is not as good as that of an ordinary old man. He probably hasn't considered what means he should use to deal with some enemies flying in the air even if he catches up with the enemy. Dr. Shannon's words are easy to understand, so Naruto no longer insists on chasing the enemy and prepares to take the injured to the hospital. Keep your chest back when moving him, Naruto. Dr. Shannon, who had not walked far, reminded Naruto. Hearing his name, Naruto quickly stood up and called uncle, but Dr. Shannon left without looking back, leaving Naruto with a puzzled look on his face. Why, do you know my name? Chapter 282. On the other side, Shikamaru watched the enemy go away and asked Neji beside him, can you see anything, Neji? Neji, who was watching with his Byakugan, gave the answer that the enemy's chakra was exhausted. Now Shikamaru had a clue. I see. That means the chakra consumption so far plus the remaining amount, the two can be calculated to calculate the return distance. I thought it was an insignificant passerby character, but now it seems there is a problem, and it directly called out Naruto's name. No way, if there is a problem, why would it be called Naruto's name? Isn't it good to make a fortune quietly by exposing such a loophole in such a place? Don't make too many associations. Can't it be that you have heard of Naruto's name? After all, he is quite famous in Konoha. Those air ninjas who launched the attack probably didn't expect that they would expose the location of their lair. Don't say they didn't expect it, I didn't expect it either. What is the standard for chakra consumption and remaining amount? How do you Konoha quantify it? Kakashi and Yamato came to the Hokage's office anxiously, and only breathed a sigh of relief after seeing Tsunade was safe and sound. Although she was angry about her powerlessness, Tsunade still forced herself to calm down and analyze the enemy's purpose. They forced Konoha into such a desperate situation, but instead of cutting the grass and removing the roots, they retreated first. In other words, they may have a bigger conspiracy. At the same time, in the hospital, Naruto stood by the window and looked at the wounded who were constantly sent in, with an angry expression. Sakura and Hinata checked the conditions of the wounded one by one, and soon confirmed that they were all out of danger. Seeing that every wounded person had been bandaged, Sakura asked curiously, the wounded brought by Naruto were also treated perfectly in an emergency. Who did it in such a panic? Tsunade, did she say something nonsense? During World War II, Konoha destroyed the Kingdom of the Sky. Now that they are back, do they need to consider what they want to do? Of course, they want revenge. It's not that the Sky Ninjas don't want to root out the roots, but they have no chakra. Is the purpose just revenge? After suffering a loss once, they should know the gap between themselves and the 5 major ninja villages. No one will be stupid enough to hit the wall again, right? Maybe like Wong Quan and Hyde, they found helpers like Wu Liang or Greer. Special powers. Does the doctor named Shannon have any purpose? He showed up to provide voluntary treatment as soon as the air ninja's attack ended. Is there any connection between the two? This suspicion is worthless. Although it is a bit coincidental, it is not very rare. Dr. Shannon has a good reputation. His name has been circulated in the villages near us. Just as Naruto was about to answer Sakura's question, a small red-haired man with a headscarf suddenly climbed in from the window and gave the answer. It's Dr. Shannon. The small man jumped into the ward, ignored the inquiring eyes of others, checked the patients in the room one by one, and confirmed that the treatments they received were all the methods of Dr. Shannon. Looking at his attitude of not treating himself as an outsider, Naruto asked curiously, "Do you know that uncle? You saw the teacher?" The little guy turned around excitedly and grabbed Naruto's collar, loudly asking where Dr. Shannon was. Naruto was a little unhappy with the little guy's attitude, and then heard him say, "Our village. Our village has a big thing. We have to find the old man quickly. This kid is even more rude than the one called Shannon. By the way, is this Konoha? Even if they are not ninjas, can these outsiders come in and out at will? An attack just happened, and entry and exit should be completely prohibited at this time. It was too sudden and he didn't react, or this kid had already arrived in Konoha when the attack happened." The little guy fainted before he finished speaking. Although Naruto was a little confused, he still found an empty bed to put him in. Not long after, the Dr. Shannon, whom the little man had been looking for, also arrived at the hospital. Dr. Shannon thanked Naruto, and Naruto did not refuse. "Since he is your disciple, I can't just watch him die." The little man's name is Liu. Naruto learned this from Dr. Shannon's introduction, and also knew about the master-disciple relationship between Dr. Shannon and him, although he himself humbly said that he was not qualified to be called a teacher. Liu's village is on the border of the Land of Fire. Last night there was attacked by unidentified ninjas. Countless people were injured. He came here to inform me of the news. Dr. Shannon explained to Naruto why Liu appeared here. "What do you mean by since he is the uncle's disciple? You don't know these two people. Why are you so familiar with them? This has been the first time. Can you be more cautious when facing those you just met?" Just because he saved a few villagers before, Naruto thought he was a good person. The cost of being trusted by you is too low. Before, it was said that Sasuke had great psychological defects and was easily abducted. Now look at Naruto. You know what easy to be abducted means. A small village on the border of the Land of Fire was attacked. Was it also done by the air ninja? It depends on what the purpose of the air ninja is. I can smell the smell of conspiracy. In a small village on the border of the Land of Fire, Liu was a little excited when she saw herself and Dr. Shenlong appear on the sky, but her face changed immediately when she heard that the village was attacked by unknown ninjas. How could it be? Why would ninjas attack an ordinary village like ours? At this time, Liu, who was lying on the bed, snorted softly, and then slowly opened her eyes. Naruto came up and asked with concern, "Are you awake, kid?" Unexpectedly, Liu's face changed immediately when she saw Naruto's big face close to her, and she punched Naruto out of the window subconsciously. The next day, just after dawn, Naruto accompanied Dr. Shenlong and Liu out of the hospital. Although he was punched for no reason, Naruto still mentioned Liu's physical condition after he was discharged from the hospital. In response, Liu raised his head and said seriously, "Teacher Shenlong is going to visit our village. How can I sleep with my head covered?" Chapter 283. How many times has Naruto suffered at the hands of ordinary people? Is it necessary for this little brat named Liu to react so strongly? If it were me, I would have slapped him in the face the moment I opened my eyes and saw a big face. Guanglin. Did your village get attacked? How come you are not nervous at all now? Isn't his nervousness completely directed at Dr. Shannon? Is the village being attacked just an excuse? Tsunade-sama has also issued an order for us to form a 3-person emergency medical team and set off together. Sakura's voice came from behind the three of them. Naruto looked in the direction of the voice and saw that Sakura and Hinata were already carrying backpacks and ready to go. Naruto rushed to them in a panic and confirmed the candidates for the 3-person team. After learning from the shy Hinata that he was one of them, he was immediately very unhappy. Because compared to the medical team's mission, the expedition team's mission was more attractive to Naruto. It was not until Sakura handed him the amulet entrusted by Jiraiya that Naruto put away the tangled expression on his face and accepted the mission. On the other side, the fleet of the Kingdom of the Sky, which was originally sailing on the sea, docked at a coast. The Sky Ninjas who had completed the attack mission returned to the fleet one by one to rest. Naruto is still the same, only interested in combat missions. It doesn't matter what type of mission it is for him. Anyway, the difficulty of the mission will definitely soar due to various unexpected situations. It will be difficult for Naruto not to fight. Is there something wrong with the attitude of the little girl of the Hyuga family towards Naruto? She looks like she is in love with him. Is our Naruto so bad? Can't a little girl have ideas about him? When taking members with complicated relationships to go on a mission together, I always feel that I have to spend more time to deal with troublesome things outside the mission. Yeah, who is quite slow in emotions, asked Hinata directly without any scruples after seeing the ridicule of the barrage. Hinata, do you like Naruto? Hinata's face turned red when her feelings were bluntly pointed out, and she fainted in Hong's arms without saying a word. Shino, who has a low sense of presence, is a wise man. He pushed up his sunglasses and said calmly, "You really don't know how to talk, yeah? What do you mean?" Naruto, who was also looking at the sky, scratched his head with question marks and whispered to himself, "Is Hinata targeting me? Have I offended her in any way? What's the point of being so stupid?" Although his voice was low, Kakashi and Sakura, who were nearby, heard it. They both looked at him with speechless expressions. Was he deliberately becoming stupid at the critical moment? Although Sasuke was not very interested in relationships between men and women, at least he passed the cultural courses. He knew that Hinata liked Naruto, but he didn't think there was anything worth discussing. These air ninjas are so confident, they have no intention of hiding at all. They are attacking Konoha directly. How can they not be confident? On the coast, in a gap in a mountain wall, Sai hid in it and secretly observed the fleet on the sea. He took out a scroll and drew a big bird, then used the ninjutsu, Super Beast fake drawing to make the big bird fly out of the scroll, and took Sai who jumped out of the gap in the mountain wall to fly to the fleet not far away. The air ninja in charge of alert on the fleet found Sai's trace at the first time, but after noticing that there was only one person, the air ninja who was originally facing a big enemy suddenly sneered and sent a 4-man team to deal with Sai without any care. 1234, it seems that the enemy has only discovered me. Sai, who was flying in the air, observed the enemy's movements while recalling what Shikamaru told him before the mission began. These air ninjas just came back, and Konoha's pursuers have already caught up. It's convenient to be able to fly. Oh my god, what's the reaction of these air ninjas? They found Konoha's pursuers. Why are they still not taking it seriously? I say, they don't really think they can beat Konoha. With their little resources on the sea, Konoha can handle it without sending much combat power. At this time, the right thing to do is to retreat quickly. As long as they escape into the depths of the sea, even Konoha can't do anything to them. Hey, you look down on them, don't you? Don't take Konoha too seriously. With such a powerful air force, it's not as easy as eating and drinking water to deal with a small Konoha. The one who spoke above must have a big grudge against the air ninjas. You are the only one who can. It is an important combat force to match the air ninja, but there is no need to fight with the enemy with all our strength. As long as we can divert their attention and not expose our whereabouts, it will be fine. The task assigned by Shikamaru is not difficult. Although Sai said helplessly that he was not good at such meticulous and trivial tasks, he still easily killed an enemy after starting the action. Behind another mountain wall on the coast, Kakashi looked at the fleet not far away and said to Shikamaru with emotion, as Tsunade-sama said, "These guys are preparing for the second round of attack for the next target. I didn't expect that an aircraft carrier fleet would be stationed in such a place. Your calculation is really accurate." The Super Beast fake painting used by Sai seems to be not a blood limit but a secret technique. Did Konoha train other people to learn this trick? Can you draw? Indeed, to learn this trick, you have to learn to draw first. It's an impeccable reason. Not only must you be able to draw, you must also draw quickly, otherwise you will be courting death in battle. These air ninjas are not very flexible in the air. They seem to be only suitable for large-scale attacks, and are not very useful in encounters. Both sides must be able to fly, otherwise these air ninjas will be able to fight or flee at will. Shikamaru explained how he analyzed the position of the fleet, and Kakashi appreciated Shikamaru's arrangement, but then again, it's really a bold plan in your style to have only a four-man team act, because they can always escape from the open sea. The best strategy is to make them believe that Konoha has no ability to compete with the air ninjas. Shikamaru walked to Kakashi and watched with him as Sai led the three air ninjas to fly around and delay time, in a secret base hidden under the forest. Sasuke walked along the passage illuminated by candlelight and came to one of the rooms. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelists. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 284. Orochimaru was half lying on the hospital bed, facing the door. He greeted Sasuke, who was walking towards him. Look, Konoha didn't take the Sky Ninja seriously at all, and planned to send them off with a four-man team. Ha, we didn't dare to send too many people, for fear of scaring them away. But what to do? Kakashi and his team are indeed very strong, but there are also many people on the other side, and we are not sure what special weapons the Sky Kingdom fleet has. Who is the last one in the four-man team? Akemichi Chouji? If he turns into a giant, he may be able to wipe out the Sky Ninja fleet. What happened to Orochimaru? Why is he lying in bed sick? I don't know what happened to him, but he is really bold. He dared to let Sasuke stay by his side in this state. What's the matter? Sasuke obviously had no intention of greeting him, so Kabuto on the side took over and explained, there was intelligence this morning that Konoha was bombed, which was supposed to be during World War II. The ninja of the country of death? I didn't expect you to be interested in Muay. There is a man who wants you to bring him. Looking at the -1 seems to be slow, he followed his words, it is a doctor. It is just Sasuke's growth surpassing his expectations. Also, for the endless Uchiha's real power, it is not understandable to preparation for -1. No other, but the speed of obtaining this information is really incredible. Orochimaru actually said that he has no interest in Konoha. When he asked Tsunade to treat his arm before, he wanted to destroy it. For Orochimaru, who likes research, it's strange to focus on destroying Konoha. The reason he gave when fighting the third Hokage before, now think about it, it seems like a random nonsense. Doctor, keyword get, Dr. Shannon is not running away. That old man is not an ordinary person at first glance, looking for a doctor to help you treat your illness. This doctor once studied the forbidden technique of regeneration with me. Unlike me, who gave up halfway, he must have completed the regeneration technique now. Orochimaru leaned forward slightly, looking at Sasuke with a gloomy expression. Bring him here, I need the technique he created now. The scene changed to a river that ran through a tropical jungle, with two simple boats sailing in it. Yu Liu's village is deep in the tropical jungle upstream of this river, and there is a ruin nearby. Dr. Shenlong rowed the boat while telling the rest of the team the location of the destination. Naruto was very dissatisfied with the slow means of transportation. Sakura explained that there were many poisonous animals and beasts in the jungle. Dr. Shenlong also said that there were ferocious animals such as crocodiles and piranhas in the river. He has worked with Orochimaru, so he is not a good person. According to your logic, no one in Konoha is a good person either. After all, Orochimaru was born in Konoha, but we do have to doubt it. If this person is really Dr. Shenlong, then what is his purpose in pretending to be an ordinary person? What else could it be? To get close to Naruto. It is very likely that he is another person who has set his sights on the Nine Tails. Regeneration technique. Is it the same as Tsunade's? Orochimaru's attitude is not very good. It seems that the doctor he mentioned has a bad relationship with him. Orochimaru, who was doing his daily study and research, looked at himself who was sick on the sky, grinned and chuckled. I actually made myself so embarrassed, and it seems that I am too confident in my control over Sasuke. Is I confused by the power of Sharingan? However, regeneration technique. It's a good technique, which can be used as a backup plan. As a former partner of Shannon, Orochimaru naturally understood his research direction. Although he did not intend to take this path, it did not prevent him from collecting new ninjutsu. After all, I have seen the effect of Tsunade's similar moves before, and if there is a chance, I might as well cooperate with Shannon again. Ruins, another keyword is obtained. Why is it a bit similar to Hyde's time? Dr. Shannon is not a smiling tiger like Hyde. The more I look at it, the more similar it is. Isn't the way Yuliu worships Shannon exactly the same as Timothy's worship of Hyde? There's a big difference. Hyde does nothing but talk nice things, while Dr. Shannon is very serious and dedicated to saving people. Why do you say he is a bad person? It's just a guess. Why are you in such a hurry? Yuliu, who is looking at the sky, waved his fist angrily. What are these people panicking and guessing about? The way he defends the injustice is exactly the same as Timothy's at the beginning. Naruto was frightened by what the two said and broke into a sweat. Seeing his cowardly look, Yuliu, who was sitting behind him, said disdainfully, "Don't worry, there are doctors on both ships who are more effective than ninjas. Let me use this scalpel to save your life." Humph, the ninjas are protecting you doctors now. Naruto couldn't stand those who acted cool in front of him. He immediately put on a stinky face and snorted, and even stood up and danced. Besides, after your scalpel, even those who could be saved will die. Yuliu, who also had a bad temper, stood up from the boat and sneered at Naruto. "Nonsense, don't look at me like this. I am Shannon's #1 disciple. In your cold world of ninjas, there is no such sincere bond and skills passed down from generation to generation." Here we go again. Is Naruto pretending to be sweating profusely because he was scared? He is so reliable when fighting against powerful enemies. Why does he always become so cowardly in such an insignificant place? Chapter 285. It's not the first time I've seen him being so out of line. Is it worth making a fuss about? Is this Dr. Kid serious? What does a doctor who is more useful than a ninja mean? How dare he say such a thing? The funniest thing is that there is a medical ninja in the team. Don't say that. The medical skills of a medical ninja are not necessarily better than those of an ordinary doctor. It's become a childish quarrel again. He is so strong, why does he always have a childish personality? I doubt that even after a few years, this guy will still behave like this. Yuliu wants to say that being a doctor is a powerful profession, but why does he want to step on the profession of ninja? It's mainly because of Naruto. I can't help but want to confront him. Everything else is fine, but he actually told Naruto that he has no bonds. How can I tolerate this? As expected, hearing that his bond was questioned, Naruto immediately made a fierce rebuttal. What did you say? I can't ignore this. Speaking of master-disciple relationships, the bond between Iruka-sensei, Kakashi-sensei, and me is much stronger. Unable to bear Naruto's loud voice, Sakura hit him hard on the head with a paddle to signal him to keep quiet, then looked up at the sky, and the others followed her gaze through the Byakugan. Hinata discovered an air ninja patrolling in the air, so Dr. Shannon quickly asked everyone to hide the boat under the shade of the tree. Naruto saw that he had no time to act, so he overturned the boat and hid in the water with Yuliu. I always feel that, among the three people who are recognized as master-disciple relationships by Naruto, Kakashi seems to be just making up the numbers. Don't say that. Although the leader of the team is more of a leader, Kakashi has also taught Naruto in both training and philosophy. Are you kidding me? Sakura is the first to discover the enemy. What is that little girl from the Hyuga family doing? Didn't you see that she didn't even open her Byakugan? It's strange that she didn't notice the enemy. Isn't her role in this team to investigate and search? If she doesn't even open her Byakugan, then what is she doing here? Didn't she help at the Konoha hospital before? Maybe she is a medical ninja like Sakura. The overturned boat was like a piece of wood. The air ninja who was reconnaissance in the air took a glance and thought there was nothing unusual, so he turned around and left the airspace. Naruto, who was submerged in the water, floated up again and turned the boat back. As a result, when he climbed onto the boat, he found that Yuliu, who he was carrying, was only left with a vest in his hand. Naruto hurriedly looked into the water and saw that Yuliu had dived into seaweed at the bottom of the water to pick up the scalpel that had accidentally fallen. As a result, he tripped and was unable to float up. Yuliu, who couldn't hold his breath, was choked by the water and was about to lose consciousness. Before fainting, Yuliu recalled how he was saved by Dr. Shannon when he was seriously ill before, and how he wanted to worship him as a ninja after recovery. By the way, Naruto and his team's mission is to investigate the situation of the attacked village, or to protect the two doctors? If it is to protect them, this kind of behavior of protecting people to only have a vest is not appropriate for you. You all have no memories? This guy's guarding skills are not up to par. And when has he not had some problems protecting his clients? I'm curious, in this situation where you could die at any time, can your brain really recall past events? I haven't had a near-death experience, I wonder if anyone with a similar experience can tell me about it. Yes. I've tried. Our village has done research on this aspect. This should be an instinctive reaction of the body. Under the influence of those unforgettable memories, the body's potential will be squeezed out to increase the survival rate. No wonder Naruto's combat effectiveness will increase every time he recalls his companions in the village one by one. This should be considered a kind of talent of his. Hey, Dr. Shannon did not hide his identity as a ninja, so this can't be a reason for him to be a bad guy. Isn't this a reason? Exclamation mark. Since he is a ninja, why couldn't he pry open the stone to save people before? He needed Naruto's help. It seems that he is deliberately trying to get involved with Naruto. Aren't they acting together now? Plus he is suspected to be related to Orochimaru, and he knew Naruto before this. All the signs are pointing to him being a bad guy. In response to Yu Liu's request to become a ninja, Dr. Shenlong gave the following response. Yu Liu, I have given up the path of fighting. Although the power of fighting is useful, the power of saving lives is more precious. There are knives that take people's lives, and there are knives that save people's lives. After making such a response, Dr. Shenlong gave his scalpel to Yu Liu and taught Yu Liu medical skills afterwards. Naruto brought Yu Liu back to the surface of the water. Although he was entangled by a group of piranhas, he still brought Yu Liu back to the boat intact, and then Naruto saw some more exciting scenes. Yu Liu was lying on the boat all wet. The wet clothes outlined the girl's slender body lines. Although not as plump as mature women, it was also curvy. Don't you really think that this Shenlong is a bit like Hyde? Before being exposed, Timothy also thought Hyde was a kind person. It's far from it. Timothy is stupid to believe it. Hyde used his partner as experimental material and still treated him as a good person. Dr. Shannon at least helped to treat Yu Liu. Hyde took Timothy in because he valued his royal status. No matter how you look at it, Yu Liu is just an ordinary kid. If Shannon is a bad guy, is it necessary to do this? It's very contradictory. There are many clues that Shannon is suspected to be a bad guy, but when he has the ability to cover it up, he shows it openly. Tisk, I can't figure it out. It's a girl. Why is this kind of love comedy unfolding again? It seems that Yu Liu is the heroine of this story. I always feel that she is far different from the previous ones, a little boyish, so she has no competitiveness with Naruto. Chapter 286. Seeing the ridicule in the barrage, Yu Liu, who was originally packing his luggage and preparing to go out for shelter with the villagers, suddenly puffed up his face and said with disdain, "Who wants to have anything to do with that stupid Uzumaki Naruto? This guy is not even worthy of carrying shoes for Teacher Shannon." Naruto looked at the girl's body curved with a confused face, blushing and unable to speak. Yu Liu noticed his expression, scolded him shyly, and immediately put the vest back on. Could it be? Naruto's face was flushed, as if he was drunk, his eyes were blurred and his body was swaying. Only then did Yu Liu notice that there was a poisonous fish biting him on his thigh. The next second, Naruto fell unconscious. Everyone returned to the shore, and Yu Liu sucked out the poisonous blood on Naruto's thigh. Naruto was a little embarrassed about this, his face flushed and he didn't dare to look at Yu Liu's face. "Naruto, why are you blushing?" Sakura asked in confusion. Naruto waved his hand to show that it was okay. Another contradictory performance. What is Naruto's attitude towards relationships between men and women? Why does he act like a gangster in the bathhouse, but become a pure boy here? Look at your lack of ability. You blushed so much when you saw the body lines, and you dare to say that you want to peek. Or is this kind of boyish girl more attractive to Naruto? Well, judging from his persistent attitude towards Sasuke, it seems possible. Sasuke shuddered with a chill. He understood the barrage. Although he felt that Naruto could not have such thoughts about him, it did not prevent Sasuke from responding to it. Stay away from him in the future. Naruto did not have this idea. In addition to not understanding the deeper meaning of the barrage, he was more dissatisfied with his embarrassing appearance on the sky screen. What the hell, I'm not interested in that kind of guy. A poisonous fish can actually knock down the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki. What kind of fish is this? I want to study it. Nine-Tails, it's time to get off work. Recovery is not my responsibility. Can the power of the tailed beasts also detoxify? It should be possible. Otherwise, those ninjas who use poison would become the nemesis of the tailed beasts and Jinchuriki. Why is Yu Liu treating? Sakura and Shenlong are just watching. They are using Naruto as a test subject. Maybe they want to test Yu Liu's medical skills. The kid who was once rejected by the villagers is now recognized by everyone with a scalpel that saves lives. Even though he was covered in wounds, he came to report the crisis of the village. At this time, he still tried his best to treat the ninja who has become his companion. He has really grown up. Looking at Yu Liu's treatment method, Dr. Shenlong sighed. At this time, Yu Liu treated the wound on Naruto's thigh. Sakura went forward to check and confirmed that there was nothing wrong, and expressed her admiration for her treatment. Dr. Shenlong also stepped forward and pressed Yu Liu's shoulder to praise her. Yu Liu responded with a red face, as if she had a special feeling for him. Watching the interaction between the two, Naruto showed a beautiful smile. Master and disciple, so good. Being rejected by the villagers, another key clue. With this kind of life experience, Naruto has to fight hard. Don't you think what Shenlong said here is a bit inappropriate? What recognition and growth, isn't it just a very common treatment here? It's too much of an association. It feels like moaning. There's something wrong with the way Yu Liu looks at Shenlong. This is not the way she looks at her teacher. Oh. Such a unique taste special. Although Dr. Shenlong looks elegant and graceful, he is quite old. There are not many teenagers who like uncles of this age. You think too much? Can't you just admire your master? Please. Yu Liu's eyes, the girl's heart is about to overflow. Okay, Naruto's eyes are the admiration between the master and the apprentice. Forgive me for not being able to see the difference, I just feel disgusting. Indeed, Naruto is not suitable to show such an expression, so weird. The episode ends, and everyone continues to move forward through the jungle. Dr. Shenlong, who is responsible for clearing the way, said that they will reach the destination soon, and Yu Liu supported Naruto and walked at the end. Well, I said a lot of nonsense before, sorry, you are really amazing. Naruto was very polite at this time, and after Yu Liu said that he didn't care, he immediately said hesitantly, but, just now, this, how should I say it, like this, that, Naruto obscenely gestured at the body lines of a woman in the air, and looked at Yu Liu with a slightly inquiring look. Could it be, you are? I feel that as long as Naruto is given a little favor, he will immediately think that the other party is a good person. It's so easy to fool. If I give him a cake or something, can I kidnap him? It's just a quarrel between children. It's understandable that the mood and attitude change a little bit. You care about Yu Liu's gender, Naruto? You don't really like this kind of boyish girl, right? I think if it were me, I would probably ask about it, mainly for gossip. Yu Liu naturally knew what he wanted to ask, and immediately showed an angry expression. Naruto was not completely stupid. He read the answer from her expression. Are you really a girl? Yu Liu asked herself if she looked like a boy, and Naruto nodded without hesitation. Frustrated by his response, Yu Liu sat down and hugged her legs, with a blush on her face, muttering, Teacher Shenlong probably sees me the same way. Is that so? So you're obsessed with Uncle Shenlong? Naruto, who didn't know how to read the atmosphere, immediately replied. Yu Liu, who was extremely shy, stood up and slapped him. Idiot, that's not the case. Because of the poisoning just now, Naruto's reaction became much slower, and as a result, he was slapped by Yu Liu, and his face was deformed. This reaction doesn't seem like he's interested in me. It feels like he's just gossiping. Again. Naruto, how many times are you going to suffer at the hands of ordinary people? No matter whether the Jinchuriki is immune to the poison, I'm going to go fishing in the jungle on the sky curtain now. In the future, Uzumaki Naruto will turn around and leave when he sees me. Chapter 287. Yu Liu realized that she seemed to be too excited, and hurriedly apologized to Naruto. At this time, Hinata's exclamation came from the front, and Yu Liu and Naruto stopped talking and rushed over, and then saw a black smoke rising high over Yu Liu's village. Yu Liu's face changed instantly, and she rushed out without thinking too much, and the others hurried to follow. After rushing out of the jungle, Yu Liu quickly came to the gate of the village, and what she saw was a burning and destroyed village. Unwilling to believe what she saw, Yu Liu looked around for possible survivors, but when she ran to high ground, she triggered the trap left by the attacker, and in an instant, the crossbows hidden in the surrounding bushes shot a large number of kunai at her. What are you making a fuss about? Did they know their village was attacked a long time ago? Although the information revealed is ambiguous, judging from Yu Liu's attitude of not being anxious at all, the previous ninja attack should not have caused much damage to their village. If that's the case, then there's obviously a problem. It's obvious that this is a bait, and the target is naturally Naruto. Can this be considered a bait? Whether Naruto comes or not depends entirely on Konoha's arrangements. The enemy can't control this. Seeing that Yuliu was about to die in the trap, Dr. Shannon, who was following her, rushed over desperately to pull her away, waving his machete in an attempt to block the kunai that was shot at her. Unfortunately, the number of kunai exceeded Dr. Shannon's reaction speed. After interrupting his machete, dozens of kunai hit his body, and then he rolled down the stone steps powerlessly and fell into Yuliu's arms. Originally, Sakura and the other two who were investigating the surroundings came over following the sound. Dr. Shannon, who was helped up by Yuliu, endured the pain and expressed his appreciation for Yuliu as a disciple in a fragmentary manner. After that, he took off his headscarf and handed it to Yuliu, asking her to find and rescue the villagers. Shannon is not going to die like this. Is he a bad guy? It's not determined yet. He is in such a miserable state, and you still can't determine it. I say, what are Sakura and Hinata doing? Not to mention Shannon, but how come even Yuliu is faster than them? You are actually the same as Naruto. You all failed the guarding course, right? How can you let the client run around without following her? It seems that Yuliu and the others were not clearly stated as the clients. Sakura and the others' mission should be to investigate the cause and effect of the ninja attack in this village. It just happened to be on the way with Dr. Shannon and the others. That's an acceptable explanation. Speaking of which, Shannon has revealed his true colors. He just arrived at the village. Why did he already think that the villagers needed to be saved by others? Seeing the miserable state of the village, and not finding any bodies, the first reaction must be that they were taken away by the enemy. How? How could it be? Yuliu widened her eyes, trembling as she looked at the bruised Shannon on the sky, stammering, No. I have to find Teacher Shannon right away. As she spoke, Yuliu planned to leave the retreating team of the villagers and go out to look for Dr. Shannon, but fortunately the village chief who led the group stopped her in time. Don't be impulsive, Yuliu. That's something that will happen in the future. Those ninjas who attacked the village didn't specifically target Dr. Shenlong. Besides, you don't know where he is now. You'd better hide with us and let Dr. Shenlong come to us later. The village chief's persuasion calmed Yuliu down. She took a few deep breaths and murmured to comfort herself, Yes, it's okay, Teacher Shenlong will be fine. If it doesn't work, I can still go to Konoha to issue tasks. After explaining the aftermath, Dr. Shenlong slowly closed his eyes. Although Sakura tried to perform emergency treatment, it was a pity that Dr. Shenlong still lost his breath and Yuliu's crying. Teacher Shenlong is my lifesaver. I was an abandoned baby. When I was suffering from an unknown disease, no one in the village was willing to take care of me. However, Teacher Shenlong risked being infected to treat me. Yuliu told Naruto and the others about her past. Although it was just some ordinary experiences, it was not difficult to hear how deep her feelings for Dr. Shenlong were. After that, everyone buried Dr. Shannon. Yuliu stood silently in front of his grave. After a while, he couldn't help but kneel on the ground and cry bitterly. He died so quickly. Compared with those who were still alive and kicking after being stabbed in the chest, I'm still a little uncomfortable with this. This man is dead, so now we can be sure that he's a good guy. Hey, I suddenly remembered something. Did it the doctor that Orochimaru asked Sasuke to find master some forbidden regeneration technique? If Shannon is this doctor, then can this place still be alive? At least the regeneration technique has to work on living people. If it works on dead people, then it's not a regeneration technique but a resurrection technique. What if it's just fake death? After all, it's not surprising that a doctor who can research the forbidden regeneration technique has some fake death skills. Fake death can be hidden from Sakura, a medical ninja? What a brilliant skill that must be. I have no hope. Without Shenlong teacher by my side, I can't keep trying. Yuliu took off his headscarf while crying, and then held the headscarf given to him by Dr. Shenlong, and said to himself sadly and frustratedly, I haven't told the teacher anything. Naruto and the other two standing at the edge of the forest not far away deeply felt Yuliu's sadness, but the most urgent task was to find out what happened in the village first, so under Hinata's analysis and Sakura's suggestion, the three of them split up and went to the nearby area to look for traces of the enemy. This kid has a very poor psychological endurance. He feels that he is no longer capable without his teacher. He even dared to look down on ninja so brazenly before, Before experiencing setbacks, everyone probably thinks that they are the most amazing. Look, Naruto and the others had no intention of protecting Yuliu. To be honest, their mission was to escort Shenlong and the others to this village, so Shenlong's death really can't be blamed on them. Chapter 288. You can understand this if you think about it normally. After all, Konoha has just been attacked. The most important thing at this time is to investigate the enemy's movements and purpose. Hinata went deeper into the jungle and detected something strange through the Byakugan. What's going on? This chakra. In another direction, Sakura saw Naruto by a lake after walking around nearby. After greeting him, Sakura asked in confusion, "What are you doing here? Didn't you go find the villagers?" Hearing this, Naruto pointed to a ruin shrouded in mist in the forest on the other side of the lake. Because there were no other clues for the time being, the two of them came to the ruins together. There were rubble and ruins everywhere, and the thick fog made it difficult to see the distant scenery. As Naruto walked, he paused and saw Yuliu coming from right in front of them. Ruins. According to the previous routine, this is most likely the trigger point of the mission. Here we are, Yuliu, a key figure, plus the ruins, a key location. It would be unreasonable if nothing happens next. Today's villains should be those from the Kingdom of Sky. With Naruto's characteristic of attracting disasters, this place could not be the base of the Sky Ninja. Yuliu, why are you here? Naruto asked with a puzzled expression. At this time, Yuliu's eyes suddenly turned red and said something strange, "I am Zero Tail. When the world is filled with wars and darkness grows in people's hearts, I will be resurrected." Sakura was confused by her inexplicable words, but Naruto immediately noticed that something was wrong with Yuliu and asked in a deep voice, "Yuliu, what's wrong with you?" "I will devour the darkness in my heart, be born and grow infinitely, so that this world will be dominated by darkness." Yuliu did not directly respond to Naruto's question and spoke to herself. A long alien monster appeared and disappeared around her body, and another strange voice came out of her mouth. "Zero Tail, claiming to be a tailed beast. Does the tailed beast have a zero tail? Aren't there one tail to the 9 tails? I've never heard of a tailed beast with a so-called zero tail. It's just a name, don't get too hung up on it." So Yuliu is not an ordinary person either. She is getting more and more like Rare. The story structure is basically the same. The power of darkness. I know it's not a good thing. It's the same as Wong Quan's dark medical ninjutsu. Zero Tail, the power of darkness. Yuliu has never been as confused as today. She is obviously just an ordinary girl. It was surprising enough to appear on the sky. Now she is actually called a Zero Tail. Shannon, who rushed towards the land of fire, had a face as black as charcoal. The existence of the Zero Tail was finally exposed. He was obviously close to success. On the coast, Sai, who was still stalling for time, cleanly solved 2 air ninjas. Although he faced only 4 enemies, the long air battle still consumed a lot of Sai's physical strength. Kakashi noticed Sai's declining condition and wanted to help him deal with the last enemy, but Shikamaru grabbed his arm. "Kakashi teacher, stay here, time is almost up, I will take over the rest." After saying that, Shikamaru ran directly to the beach and sent a signal. Knowing that the mission was over, Sai turned around and retreated to the coast. Although there was only 1 air ninja left in pursuit, he had no intention of stopping. He flew straight towards Shikamaru and shot a kunai, and also knew how to use the advantage of backlight to affect Shikamaru's sight. Although these air ninjas' kunai firing equipment is convenient, their accuracy is not very good. It's fine if they can't hit Sai who's flying around, but how come they can't even hit Shikamaru who's standing still? So relying on these equipment is hopeless. Wow, Shikamaru, you're so cool, you're actually giving orders to Kakashi. Kakashi, you're not good enough, you're actually letting a junior write on your head, it seems you're out of date. It's rare to see Shikamaru so excited, he really looks like a leader. You can always trust Naruto's plans. It's really rare, you'd never say it if you could lie down on weekdays. Can I ask the one in the sky what's your mentality? Ino teased and approached Shikamaru's face with a smirk. Shikamaru rolled his eyes helplessly. How should I know? That kind of thing makes me feel troublesome just thinking about it. However, all this was within Shikamaru's calculations. When this air ninja flew to the coast, his shadow happened to overlap with Shikamaru's shadow, so under the effect of shadow imitation, the air ninja flying in the air instantly lost control of his body and fell to the coast. Ignoring the air ninja who fell in front of him, Shikamaru moved his sight to the fleet on the sea not far away. and murmured, "It's almost time to counterattack. Please, the fourth member of the four-man team." The scene changed. In the dense jungle, the shattered remains of several poisonous snakes were scattered all over the ground. Sasuke put the knife back into the sheath and frowned at the surrounding environment. What is this strange chakra flying in the sky? Nara's shadow secret technique can also work. I didn't expect this. You haven't seen Nara's Jonin. They have played with shadows. Mysterious, who is the fourth member? Judging from Shikamaru's tone, it seems that the fourth member can solve the fleet of the air ninjas with just one move. It should be a Kimichi Chouji. If he uses the super multiplication technique to become a giant, the fleet of the air ninjas will be like toys. It's Sasuke. If you didn't show up, I almost forgot that you had a role. The strange chakra should refer to the so-called zero tail on the side of Urayu. Hinata also noticed it before. Judging from the developments before and after, it should be the one. At the ruins, a snake-like head wearing a white mask, calling itself Zero Tail, replaced Urayu and appeared in front of Naruto and the others, and attacked the two without saying a word. Sakura had no intention of defending, and rushed forward quickly and punched Zero Tail hard, but was blocked by a palm that suddenly jumped out of the opponent's strip-like body, and then was knocked unconscious by a punch in return. Chapter 289. Sakura, Naruto, who was a step slower, glared at the monster in front of him. Before he could respond, Zero Tail kept rushing over, shooting out several arms to tie Naruto up tightly. Naruto gritted his teeth and tried to break free, but suddenly the nine tails in his body became restless, and Naruto's eyes turned red uncontrollably, and veins on his temples bulged. Zero Tail, doesn't it have a tail? Still agonizing over this? It's meaningless to draw conclusions based on the name. Naruto's tailed beast transformation seems to be getting more and more frequent. Now he immediately enters this state as long as his emotions fluctuate a little bit. It's just as everyone guessed before. The nine tail continuously provides chakra to Naruto to wear down the seal, so Naruto's tailed beast transformation will become more and more likely to occur. You turned out to be raising something interesting. Why don't you release that power? Your hidden power is what I want. Zero Tail felt the nine tails chakra, tied Naruto's arm and exerted force at the same time, trying to force him to release more tailed beast power. Naruto was strangled and howled in pain, but still rejected Zero Tail's request with a ferocious expression. No. I won't rely on this power that hurts Sakura, lecherous sage, and everyone else. Then show me another power. The darkness in your heart. Zero Tail floated in the air and stared at Naruto. Facing its persuasion, Naruto roared and responded, I will use my own power to save you, Liu. Wow. Regardless of whether this Zero Tail is a tailed beast or not, it has a big tone. It feels like it is treating the power of the nine tail as its own meal. This is the first time I've seen such a guy who thinks he can't die fast enough and actually wants Naruto to release more tailed beast power. How many people lose to this power? It seems that something we don't know happened before this, which made Naruto repel the power of the nine tail. It's probably the power going out of control, then hurt his companions. This Zero Tail has been talking about the power of darkness since it appeared. This should be its root ability. Did it say that it can devour darkness? From the literal meaning, it probably absorbs negative emotions. That's why it tempted Naruto to show his inner darkness. Negative emotions are yin-tun chakra. No matter how you explain it, the enemy's goal is probably the power of Liu. Can such a thing really be done? You know it best. Facing Naruto's confused eyes, Zero Tail said something heartbreaking. It was Sasuke, but you couldn't illuminate the darkness in his heart. You were powerless. As he spoke, Zero Tail threw Naruto away and made him crash into the surrounding ruins. However, before it could take advantage of the victory to pursue, the red chakra rose into the sky like a volcanic eruption, instantly shattering the several arms that Zero Tail stretched out. The smoke and dust from the explosion instantly dissipated under the surge of the nine tails chakra. Naruto fell to the ground with his limbs, the red-tailed beast coat wrapped around his body, and his three chakra tails stood up high and swayed from side to side. This guy can read minds. But if he has this ability, why does he keep bringing up the issue? No matter what, you can't say anything about Sasuke. Just look at Naruto's obsession with him. Let alone you, who is not sure if it is the Zero Tails or not. Even if it is the nine tails, Naruto will beat it up. This time, three tails appeared at once. If you provoke Naruto a few more times, the nine tails in its full form might come out. Naruto just said he would rely on his own strength, but he went berserk as soon as Sasuke was mentioned. Naruto let out a ferocious roar. The Zero Tails was not afraid of this, but said expectantly, "Yes, be angry, be more angry." Naruto appeared in the air above the Zero Tails in an instant, and the two tails turned into two chakra arms and smashed down to knock it to the ground. Unexpectedly, after being hit so hard, Zero Tail shot out 7 or 8 spike-like tentacles that pierced through Naruto's body the moment he landed, and then raised his head and sneered at him from above. "You have accomplished nothing." I don't know if Zero Tail's words irritated Naruto, but his skin quickly cracked, and the blood that oozed out of his body dyed the tailed beast coat a deep red. At the same time, the tails behind Naruto also turned into 4, and the whole person could not even be seen as a human. Zero Tail is very confident, and he is still mocking and stimulating Naruto. I want to see what it can do. I want to see the power of the 9 tails. Wow! Naruto has 4 tails. This is a further step in his transformation into a tailed beast. You can't even see his face. Have you noticed the process of Naruto's transformation? His skin seems to have been burned by the 9 tails chakra, and his blood has seeped out before he became like this. It seems to be what Sasuke said before. Although the power of the tailed beasts can make the Jinchuriki's recovery ability stronger, too much power will still hurt them. Naruto, who further transformed into a tailed beast, pounced on Zero Tail, and his sharp claws easily cut through its body. The arms of Zero Tail that stretched out from its body were also torn apart by Naruto. Zero Tail retreated quickly when he saw the situation was not good, but Naruto, who had already gone berserk, had no intention of letting it go. He stretched out his chakra arms to grab Zero Tail's torso and tore it in half. Zero Tail's body curled up into a ball, and the torn head also gathered and recovered. Naruto was about to continue, when suddenly a talisman fell out of his arms. It was the one that Jiraiya asked Sakura to give him before he set off. Naruto stared at the talisman, and the fierce expression on his face gradually disappeared. At the same time, a chain reaction occurred on his body, and the tailed beast coat instantly dissipated and the tailed beast transformation was lifted. What are you doing? You were so arrogant just now, but you were beaten to the point where you couldn't fight back with only 4 tails. The recovery ability is comparable to that of the tailed beasts. It can recover even after being torn apart. This thing should be a chakra creature similar to the tailed beasts, right? The ability to extend arms and tentacles from the torso is similar to Naruto's ability to create chakra arms. I don't know if it has any other abilities. If it only has a stronger recovery ability, then it's just a punching bag at best. Don't even think about fighting the tailed beasts with this ability. Chapter 290. Hey. Naruto's rampage was suppressed just like that? I know that the rampage of Jinchuriki is not something that can be solved so easily. What a fuss. This is a companion. No. It's something that the master gave him. Isn't it a piece of cake to suppress the rampage of the tailed beast's power, lecherous sage? Naruto picked up the talisman and looked at it deeply in front of his eyes. Yes, I want to use my own power to bring Uriu back. Perhaps because of too much energy consumption, the body of the curled Zero Tail became transparent, so Naruto saw Uriu sleeping with his head down inside. Uriu, wake up. Aren't you Uncle Shenen's disciple? Shouldn't a disciple inherit the master's legacy? Don't you want to be praised by Uncle Shenen? Naruto rushed to the Zero Tail and shouted at Uriu in it. Uriu, who had closed her eyes, opened her eyes instantly after hearing his voice, and then the Zero Tail disappeared, and Uriu fell to the ground exhausted. Naruto, don't you feel embarrassed for saying this? He had already crippled the enemy, and then he remembered to use his own power. So it was through words that Uriu recovered. In a sense, it was really Naruto's own power. Indeed, in front of this kind of power, the power of the tailed beast seems to be insignificant. Oh. Naruto's words really sound corny. It's a pity that he can say it without saying anything. In fact, Naruto is quite good at judging people. Regardless of corny or not, if you want Uriu to recover, just call Shenen Doctor a few more times. Then what about Zero Tail? Just disappeared like that. What is Uriu's current state? If it was a Jinchuriki, he would be dead if the tailed beast disappeared. In a dark columnar space, dozens of thick cocoon silks that transported energy were wrapped around a huge cocoon. The Zero Tail that had disappeared quickly recovered in the cocoon. Not only Naruto, I didn't expect that the darkness in Uriu's heart also disappeared. A deep voice sounded along with the image of Zero Tail, and then a figure stood in front of a square chair in an empty hall. Although the figure's face could not be seen clearly due to the light, from his attire and familiar voice, it can be basically confirmed that he is the dead Shannon. But it's enough to start. As long as the world is involved in the war, the darkness in the hearts of mankind will be inexhaustible. It's not that easy to solve. Zero Tail. Look, look, look. I said there's something wrong with Shannon. He wants to involve the world in the war. This guy is really not a good person. The means are very despicable. He deliberately pretended to die in front of Yu Liu just to draw out the darkness in her heart. By the way, did Zero Tail mention the word resurrection before? If Yu Liu exists as a carrier for its resurrection, then Shannon pretended to be a good teacher to achieve this goal? Maybe he saved Yu Liu in the first place to bury some kind of magic. I really admire you for being able to think so much. No. Impossible. Teacher Shannon. How could it be? Yu Liu, who was on her way, walked slower and slower, and her eyes were slightly blurred as she looked at the sky. Yu Liu didn't want to believe what was shown on the screen, but even those who sent the bullet screen could recognize Shannon through his clothes and voice. As someone who had followed Shannon for several years, how could Yu Liu not recognize that the person on the screen was Shannon himself? The truth that was clearly shown made Yu Liu unable to deceive herself, and this truth was in great conflict with her original cognition, so Yu Liu, who couldn't accept it for a while, could only faint. The village chief who was traveling with her naturally noticed Yu Liu's abnormality. Although he had some resentment towards her for attracting a crazy and ambitious person like Shannon, he was also sensible and knew that Yu Liu was not to blame, so he asked someone to carry her on the cart and continue on their journey. It can't be the kind of ability to absorb negative emotions, right? If the war really breaks out, there might be an inexhaustible dark power for Shannon to use. Don't be too worried. The stronger the power, the more difficult it is to control. Isn't Naruto's example right there? Anyway, I don't believe in words like infinity and limitlessness. The world doesn't allow such awesome things to appear. Naruto looked at the true face of Shannon exposed on the sky curtain. His eyes were neither sad nor happy. This was the experience he summed up after watching the sky curtain many times. Before the story is over, don't make comments on those people in it. That would only it's a waste of expression. Shannon walked to the center of the hall, stood in front of a round plate with unique lines and patterns embedded in the floor, pricked his finger, drew a symbol on the round plate with blood, then stood up and spread his hands and shouted, "Start, Enkabandian, now is the time to declare war on the 5 major ninja countries. Let us realize the true revival of the kingdom of the sky." The dazzling light shone from the round plate and filled the entire hall. At this time, Yu Liu knelt on the ground and cried softly. Seeing that she seemed to have regained her vitality, Naruto half-hugged Sakura and said with relief, "Yu Liu, are you okay? You did a good job, and you are finally back safely." Uncle Shannon would probably say the same thing. Your ambitions for the Sky Ninja are really big. You failed once in World War II, but after only a few decades, you have the courage to challenge again. No wonder I always felt that something was missing. Now I remember that the headquarters of the Kingdom of the Sky during World War II was a huge flying fortress. It seems that it is now in the sky. Show this. So Shannon's trump card to challenge the 5 great nations is this fortress in Zero Tail? Why does it feel a bit unreliable? Isn't it good to be unreliable? You really want him to conquer the 5 great nations. Naruto is still with Uncle Shannon. Your Uncle Shannon is going to conquer the ninja world now. Naruto's comfort made Yu Liu wipe away her tears and cheer up. At this time, Sakura woke up and received Naruto's gentle greetings as soon as she opened her eyes. Unexpectedly, after a few seconds of silence, Sakura suddenly collapsed and screamed, and then slapped Naruto hard and slapped him away. "Why, suddenly, slapped me?" Naruto asked innocently while lying on the ground in embarrassment, and Sakura said with a face full of fear, "Who told you to suddenly put your face in front of me?" If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 291. Fortunately, this little farce did not affect the relationship between the two. Sakura asked about the current situation. Naruto said that although he was not very clear, it had basically been resolved. Haha, Sakura's reaction was too big. Do you really dislike Naruto? Don't talk about Sakura. I, a bystander, have goosebumps. It is not appropriate for Naruto to show such a gentle expression. Haha, it is really inconsistent. Solved it? Nothing has been found. The details of the Zero Tail have not been figured out. How can Naruto have the face to say this? Perhaps in Naruto's understanding, as long as the enemy is defeated, the problem is considered solved. As for who the enemy is, it doesn't matter. As soon as he finished speaking, the ground suddenly shook violently. Naruto stood up in panic and looked at the ruins behind him. Although Sakura was very annoyed by his unreliability, she suppressed her emotions and guessed that the disappeared villagers might be in the ruins. Based on her judgment, Naruto asked Sakura to take Yuliu back to the previous village, while he himself prepared to enter the ruins to find the villagers. Sakura did not object to Naruto's arrangement and said that she would bring reinforcements back for support. However, when Sakura urged Yuliu to prepare to return, Yuliu, who had originally had a tangled expression, immediately put on a serious expression. No. I want to inherit the will of Teacher Shannon and bring the villagers back. This Yuliu is confused. Inheriting the teacher's will sounds great, but she should also consider her own abilities. If there is danger, she still has to rely on Naruto to protect her. What's the funniest thing is that her teacher he is not a good person, and he is plotting against her in secret. By the way, where's Hyuga Hinata? Did she find some strange chakra? Why is there no movement now? Could it be that she met Sasuke? After all, both of them have noticed something. Sakura had some opinions about this, thinking that Yuliu would not be able to help even if she followed. As expected, Naruto agreed. After all, he admired the relationship between Dr. Shannon and Yuliu, and naturally would not refuse Yuliu to carry out his master's will. After making a promise to Sakura, Naruto invited Yuliu to enter the ruins together. Sakura looked at the two people's disappearing backs helplessly. You always keep your word and don't listen to advice. Unable to change their minds, Sakura turned around and prepared to go back to the village to report the situation. As a result, before she ran far, the ground suddenly erupted with more violent vibrations. Sakura quickly turned around and looked at the large areas of arched ground behind her in shock. A moment later, a huge fortress rose from the forest and floated in the air. Is Naruto really sure that he can protect Yuliu's safety, or has he never considered this issue at all? It's a bit of both. On the one hand, he is blindly confident and doesn't take the enemy seriously. On the other hand, he really doesn't pay much attention to safety issues. After all, you can't expect someone who doesn't even care about his own safety to worry about the safety of others. Sakura is also careless. She didn't stop him. Do you think she can persuade Naruto? That's it. The flying fortress of the Kingdom of the Sky. Why does it feel bigger than during World War II? How did Konoha defeat the Kingdom of the Sky during World War II? Such an obvious base camp was not dealt with. I remember the intelligence at the time was the fortress of the Kingdom of the Sky was basically destroyed, and the remnants are missing. Combined with the situation of the Sky Curtain, it should be that the Kingdom of the Sky retains some of its strength by relying on its flying advantage, and it has reached its current scale after decades of development. The location of this relic is quite clear. Now we can send people to receive the legacy of the Kingdom of the Sky. Legacy. Shannon is still alive, how come they are as good as dead? Tisk. After being exposed by Sky Curtain, he is no different from being dead. No one expects him to resist the targeting of the 5 major countries. It depends on how far the Zero Tail can go. On the coast, the air ninjas who stayed on the ship observed Kakashi, Sanji and Shikamaru who appeared on the beach through telescopes. Although they were a little annoyed that they could not destroy the enemy, the leading air ninja also distinguished the priorities and prepared to complete the supply work first and continue to attack Konoha, while Kakashi and the other 2 would deal with it later. The enemy's supply will be completed soon, and then we will be attacked. Sanji explained the situation, and Shikamaru could naturally see the movements of the air ninjas. Just when he was anxious and worried, a steady voice came from the sea in front. You don't have to worry. The wet Shino slowly walked ashore, and his full confidence could be heard from his voice. If you want to know why, it's because I can't fail. I'm very curious, what kind of image does Konoha have in the eyes of these air ninjas? Why can they talk about destroying Konoha so casually? The 5 major ninja countries are the 5 most powerful countries in the world. I think my perception is correct. But why, since the appearance of the Sky Curtain, A lot of small organizations and small ninja villages have appeared, all wanting to step on the 5 major ninja villages to get to the top. The Devil Country, the Overseas Continent, Hyde, the Hidden Grass Village, the Snow Country, the Wind and Flower, and the Raging Waves, and now there is the Sky Country. I really don't understand where they get the courage and confidence. Akatsuki organization, there's still something to watch, but I don't think they can compete with the 5 great nations. So far, only Kabuto is the most likely to threaten the ninja world. Impure World reincarnation is really a cheat. The 4th member of Shikamaru's team. I remember it was called Aburame Shino. Yes, the man who raises giant larvae. I remember it very clearly. This guy is so arrogant, he actually said that he can't fail. Aburame's technique seems to be quite suitable for dealing with air ninjas. After all, they can all fly. Air ninjas are definitely not as flexible as bugs in the air. Along with Shino's words, the fleet that was originally fine suddenly began to collapse and disintegrate. In the continuous collapse and explosion, the air ninjas who were replenishing supplies on the ship immediately became flustered. The disappearance of the flying equipment also made the air ninjas lose their ability to escape. The overwhelmed aerial ninja captain looked at the chaos in front of him with a look of collapse. It was not until he saw the densely packed insects gnawing at the hull of the ship that he realized the root cause of all this, but it was too late. Chapter 292. On the coast, watching the fleet sinking into the sea, Shino pushed up his sunglasses and snorted. Seeing this, Shikamaru also smiled and scratched his head. I can't stand you. The bugs of the Aburame tribe can even eat steel? Don't they feed on chakra? It seems that they can be trained in a targeted manner. But to destroy a fleet by themselves, this destructive power is really a bit scary. The Aburame tribe has always been low-key. I didn't expect them to be so powerful when they are serious. From the reaction of the air ninjas, they probably don't know much about the Aburame tribe. With this level of intelligence gathering, they dare to say that they want to destroy Konoha. You guys. You did a great job. Kiba was a little excited and put his arm around Shino's neck, watching Naruto and Shikamaru's performance. This time it was finally their turn for Team 8 to show off. Without tearing his teeth, Shino calmly pushed his sunglasses and thought to himself, no one will ignore me from now on. A huge fortress called Ekbandian flew slowly over the forest. Inside the fortress, Naruto and Yuliu avoided the patrolling air ninjas and searched for the villagers. Yuliu felt that the huge fortress under her feet was flying in the air, and she informed Naruto of the situation. Although Naruto was confused, he quickly calmed down and gave the confused Yuliu a bright smile. Let's go, Yuliu. The two continued to move forward. Yuliu made an analysis while running. Since it is man-made, there must be someone operating it. Naruto agreed with her judgment and gave an action plan in his style. Yes, find that person, let him stop the ruins, and then rescue the villagers. How should I put it? Except for not seeing the true face of Shinin, Naruto and his team's mission this time was quite smooth. Now we have arrived at the enemy's lair. This is all Shinin's credit, okay? He destroyed the village to lead Naruto and his team here, and then deliberately resurrected the Zero Tail in the ruins. In the end, he was afraid that Naruto and his team would not notice it, so he made some noise in the ruins. I think anyone would end up like this. This guy's goal is to conquer the 5 major countries. The specific method is to launch a war to make what arc power did Zero Tails absorb. Yuliu should be the carrier he chose to revive Zero Tails. The fake death was to stimulate the darkness in Yuliu's heart. This is what I analyzed about Shinin's plan so far. It seems that Naruto has nothing to do with it. This analysis is very intuitive. As for Naruto, he is probably still planning to kill Nine Tails. If Naruto hadn't messed up the situation, Shinin might have been able to prosper for a while, but now Naruto is in his base camp. It seems that his plan to conquer the ninja world will die immediately. Naruto is probably born with a conflict of fate with these ambitious people. This is the 5th person he has met who wants to conquer the ninja world. Naruto and Yuliu kept running forward in the fortress without knowing the way. When they met the air ninja, Naruto used his shadow clone to deal with it cleanly and neatly. After a while, they came to an empty hall. A large number of broken stones and broken walls were placed around the wall of the hall, and a huge pillar stood in the middle and back. However, neither of them paid any attention to the surrounding environment, because their attention was attracted by the figure sitting on the chair in front of the pillar. You did a good job, both of you. Shinin greeted the two in a flat tone. Yuliu didn't realize how wrong this scene was. The moment she saw Shannon was still alive, her heart was filled with joy. Without thinking, she ran to Shannon and threw herself into his arms, crying about her grievances and the joy of regaining what she had lost. The air ninjas have good equipment, but the quality of their soldiers is very average. They let Naruto run around in their lair so easily. These guys who are shouting about conquering the ninja world, except for the leader who is a little capable, their subordinates are really not very good. It's so easy to run in front of the master, I don't believe it if you say it's not intentional. Humph. He will regret it later. As if by coincidence, Yuliu, who had fainted, also slowly woke up at this time, and saw herself throwing herself into Shannon's arms in the sky. Yuliu's expression was a little dazed, but her eyes had a faint glow. Although she knew that there was little hope, she still hoped that Shannon had some compelling reasons to deceive her. Maybe all this was just a misunderstanding. Although Naruto was careless, he still kept a little vigilance in such occasions. He walked forward slowly in disbelief, and then asked with a serious expression, "Why? Why is the uncle still? What is going on?" "Well, for you simple-minded people, how can I explain it to you so that you can understand?" Shannon gently stroked the back of Yuliu's head, pretended to think about it, and introduced, "This flying fortress is called Enkabandian. Although it is disguised as a ruin on the outside, it is actually the ultimate destructive weapon built by the ninjas of the Kingdom of the Sky after decades of research. Enkabandian." Naruto frowned and looked around. Shannon looked at him and said with a little complacency, "It means the capital fortress." The capital fortress. These people haven't even started the plan yet, and they can't wait to prepare the throne. I don't know whether to say that they are far-sighted or overconfident. Ultimate destruction weapon. I remember that during World War II, this fortress only served as the headquarters of the Kingdom of Sky. I don't think I've heard of any weapon. This must be an improvement over the past few decades. Shannon's introduction made Naruto more suspicious, so he asked directly, "Uncle, what are you doing in their capital fortress, being hit by so many kunai?" It's easy to play dead if you want to deceive Sakura and Hinata. At this time, Yuliu also noticed something was wrong, but Shannon didn't care about the changes in their expressions and said to himself, "The art of regenerating damaged tissues." Art. Naruto's eyes were sharp, and he lowered his voice and asked a series of questions. "Hey. What you said just now is a bit wrong. Uncle, what do you want to do here? You sneaked in to kill those guys, right?" Chapter 293. Naruto is sober here, but he is still too emotional. The facts are clearly in front of him, but he is still making excuses for Shannon. If you want to find an excuse, find a good one. Does the other party look like he sneaked in to kill the enemy, compared to standing on the opposite side as an enemy from the beginning? This situation of identifying him as a companion but being suddenly told that the other party is an enemy is obviously more difficult to accept. "You should wake up." Shannon looked contemptuous, grabbed Yuliu's head and stood up, and then responded to Naruto's question, "There is no reason for me to kill my lovely subordinates." Shannon threw Yuliu to Naruto without a care and pulled off her headscarf. Looking at the two people rolling together, Shannon talked about his past experiences. 14 years ago, in order to obtain the technique of Zero Tail, I sneaked into villages in various countries as a wandering doctor. It was not until this time that Naruto finally confirmed that Shannon had deceived them. Ignoring his anger, Shannon continued to talk to himself. "It took me 13 years to finally complete the technique of Zero Tail's resurrection in Konoha, and then I got the power of Zero Tail, the power of Dark Chakra. Naruto really needs to wake up." I feel that if Shannon does not admit that he is a bad guy, Naruto might interpret his behavior according to the reasons you come up with for him. Don't always treat Naruto as a fool. You can tell from his expression that he doesn't believe in Shannon at all. What is the Zero Tail technique? Konoha, can you come out and explain it? How come everything is related to you? Is it hard to understand? It was our Konoha who defeated the Kingdom of Space in World War II. Is it strange to get some spoils of the Kingdom of Sky? I don't care about this, but Shannon said that he sneaked into various ninja villages in order to obtain this technique. According to his statement, doesn't it mean that the villages, impossible? The intelligence protection work in our village is quite strict. Not to mention a wandering doctor of unknown origin, even our own Junin may not be able to steal intelligence under heavy protection. If he can really steal intelligence without anyone noticing, it would be too easy to destroy the 5 major countries. There is no need to do so many things. Didn't Shannon cooperate with Orochimaru? Maybe Orochimaru provided him with the information. Tsunade put down the documents in her hand and frowned at Shannon in the sky. No matter whether Shannon's statement is true or not, she must now conduct a detailed inspection of the confidential information in the village. In addition to checking whether there are any protection loopholes, she must also focus on investigating the information about the zero-tail technique. If it weren't for Orochimaru's help, the village's information could not have been stolen quietly. Could it be that the people in the intelligence department treated the information about the Kingdom of the Sky as ordinary information? Naruto gritted his teeth, wishing he could rush up and beat Shannon up immediately. Yu Liu, who was frightened by the sudden change, finally came back to his senses, but could not accept the current situation and pressed Naruto's shoulder. Wait, Naruto. No, the teacher is very wrong now, right? So now I have to cure the teacher who is wrong, please. The sound of cloth tearing stopped Yu Liu's request. She turned to look at Shannon and saw him tear off the headscarf he had left for Yu Liu without any care. He sneered with a gloomy expression. I'm sorry, Yu Liu, there's nothing wrong with me. If there's anything wrong, it should be me so far. That's why I hate letting ordinary people get involved in missions. They are still dragging their feet in this situation. Shannon has made them wake up, but they are still stubborn in this situation. They are really sick. Isn't this Shannon's purpose? The more he pretends to be, the more people will believe him. When this image collapses, the dark chakra will be produced continuously. It's easy to understand, right? Why does this sound like what Itachi said to Sasuke? No way, will it be like Uchiha Itachi's reversal later? I think Shannon's performance is straightforward enough, and it doesn't seem like he has any hidden thoughts. Accompanied by Shannon's mocking laughter, Yu Liu seemed to have a hallucination and saw her past self. Following the teacher's steps and learning the teacher's dress, she didn't care even if she was teased by the villagers, because as long as the teacher agreed with her, it was enough. When darkness arises in a person's heart, let the zero-tail possess him, so that the dark chakra generated by the dark heart can be materialized. It's still easy to understand simple things, although it took 14 years. Shannon threw the torn headscarf at his feet, and kept talking to stimulate Yu Liu. People will despair. When dominated by sadness, they will feel angry and hate the root cause of misfortune. All of this will produce dark chakra. The reason why your village was attacked is to let Zero-Tail possess you. Let me sort it out. Whether it is the attack on the village or Shannon's fake death, it is to make Yu Liu's heart dark. The purpose is to revive Zero-Tail. Why do I feel like taking off my pants to fart? I feel speechless too. There are so many ways to make people feel dark in their hearts, but Shannon ended up deceiving a little girl. How should I put it? Although it is not impossible to achieve the goal, it is really unnecessary. You are boring, entangled in gender, age and so on. Do you know what the technique for resurrecting Zero-Tail is? Do you understand what the conditions for resurrecting Zero-Tail are? What if Yu Liu has some special physique and is the only one who can be the carrier of the resurrection of the Zero-Tail? We are all ninjas, don't be as naive as Naruto, okay? This kind of thing will be just like that after experiencing it many times. It is difficult for ordinary people to empathize with others as easily as Naruto. None of this is important. I am more curious about the ability of the Zero-Tail. Anger and hatred can produce dark chakra. If the war really breaks out, maybe this so-called Zero-Tail can really be comparable to the tailed beasts, or even surpass the tailed beasts. Don't jump to conclusions. This is just Shannon's one-sided statement. The truth told by Shannon broke Yu Liu's beautiful thoughts. Her eyes gradually blurred, and her body trembled as she murmured, "Lie. This is not true. Teacher. Chapter 294. Shannon laughed disdainfully, and continued to mock with a deliberately funny expression. Master and apprentice, what a boring relationship. You fell into my trap and were completely used by me. This is the truth. Ha 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 ha. Shannon's repeated verbal stimulation finally made Yu Liu couldn't help but roar in despair, and for a while, even Naruto's anxious shouts could not be heard. As for Shannon on the opposite side, he felt the power surging in his body with an intoxicated look. Oh. I feel it, what an amazing dark chakra. Ha. Shannon said these words on purpose, just to anger Naruto and the others. It depends on whether the speed at which Zero-Tail absorbs dark chakra can exceed Naruto's anger. Those guys who mocked Naruto by trampling on his feelings before were all beaten to pulp by his explosive power. It's starting now? What dark chakra? Was it absorbed by Shannon out of thin air? This ability is quite powerful. Although I don't know how powerful the so-called dark chakra is compared to ordinary chakra, if Shannon will get dark chakra as long as there are people around who have darkness in their hearts, then doesn't it mean that the more people there are, the more powerless he will be when facing Shannon, an infinite energy? What standard is used to determine this so-called inner darkness? It won't even count as simple hostility, then there will be no way to fight him. Hospitality, if it is slightly derived, it will be anger and hatred. Even if it is not, it is very simple to make people have these emotions. Just destroy something that others cherish, and this emotion cannot be suppressed. Tisk. What a bastard. Although he reminded himself to treat these enemies who appeared on the sky with a normal mind, Naruto couldn't help but feel angry when he heard Shannon belittle the relationship between master and apprentice. Naruto held the collapsed Yu in his arms, and after a simple comfort, he roared and rushed towards Shenlong, but he was knocked away by an invisible impact and hit the wall halfway. Shannon raised his arm, and a dense black energy emanated from his body. The power of dark chakra can not only bring Zero Tail back to life, but also can do this kind of thing depending on the method of use. As he spoke, Shenlong lowered his center of gravity and took a horse stance. Under his encouragement, dark chakra gushed out of his body, and then his muscles expanded rapidly and broke his shirt. His originally white hair and beard turned black in an instant, and the wrinkles on his face disappeared and he regained his youth. Wow! Rejuvenation. Hey! Isn't it called dark chakra? Why does it feel better than normal chakra? It can even make people younger. Did the person who said this forget Tsunade? Normal chakra can also make people younger. The key is not chakra, but medical ninjutsu. Shannon is a doctor that even Orochimaru is ashamed of. So this dark chakra is different from normal chakra except for the name. No, it seems to be more useful than normal chakra. It can be obtained from others out of thin air. I thought there must be some side effects of calling it this name. Shannon, the leader of the Sky Country, is the only one who is not looking at the body shape of the air ninja. He is most likely a physical ninja. The contrast is really big. The weak old man before has suddenly become a muscular man. After this guy became younger, even his face became fierce. If he was in this state from the beginning, Yu Liu might not be fooled. This is the art of physical activation. As long as you have this ultimate body, you can easily open all 8 gates including the Death Gate. Shannon proudly showed Naruto his muscular body. Naruto was not moved at all. He directly created more than a dozen shadow clones to attack, but Shannon easily eliminated them with his fists and feet. The last punch hit Naruto's abdomen heavily. Now you understand the meaning of the ultimate body created by the body activation technique. Shannon hit Naruto on the back of the head with an elbow and knocked him to the ground, then pretended to be embarrassed. Oh, sorry, it's really not easy to master the strength of this power. 8 gates, the one used by Xiaoli. Xiaoli has that kind of strength when he opens 5 gates, so how powerful would the 8 gates be? Did they say that you will die after opening the Death Gate? Shannon's medical ninjutsu plus the dark chakra can ignore the consequences. This guy's personality has changed a lot, although the previous one was his disguise, but isn't he a little too arrogant here? This is probably the side effect of dark chakra. It absorbs the energy generated by other people's negative emotions. Just think about it and you will know that it is impossible to have no effect at all. It's very fast, but there is no skill. Shannon is not very good at fighting. It's enough. Strength acceleration. Unless you meet a top ninja, most people will be defeated by this combination of punches. It's a pity that Naruto is one of the few. This ordinary punch and kick may hurt him, but it is impossible to defeat him. After kicking Naruto hard, Shannon returned to his previous seat and continued to say intoxicatedly, I see, it is specially made for people with the ultimate body. It is simply the throne for the king. Yu Liu knelt on the ground in despair and had no reaction, while Naruto, who was kicked away, jumped up after recovering from the pain. The next second, hundreds of shadow clones flew down from the air and pounced on Shannon. In this situation, Shannon just opened his eyes. With his action, a powerful dark chakra suddenly spread out from his body, instantly destroying all of Naruto's shadow clones. Taking advantage of the smoke produced by the defeat of the shadow clones, Naruto seized the opportunity and pounced on Shannon directly. While cursing Shannon, he punched him in the face without mercy, and finally used the Rasengan to hit him in the face. Well, how should I put it? Although Shannon said it seemed very powerful, his performance didn't seem to be exaggerated. Is it because Liu was the only one who provided him with dark chakra? Chapter 295. Is it because you've watched Shenmue too much? You're so arrogant that you think Shenning's performance is not impressive? Naruto was beaten without any chance to fight back. What standard are you using to judge Shenning's strength? It seems meaningless to use Naruto as a reference. He always loses first and wins later. How did Shenning become such a funny guy? Has he been holding back for too long? He even says some dirty words when he sits down, although I've seen it many times. Every time I see Naruto use his shadow clone as a smoke bomb, I still can't help but say, fuck. Chakra is so willful. After a set of attacks, Naruto jumped back to Liu and was about to comfort her when Shenlong's full-strength voice sounded again. So-called muscles are strengthened through repeated destruction and regeneration. As long as you master the regeneration principle of medical ninjutsu, you can get stronger muscles while being destroyed, and you can do it anytime and anywhere. Shenning's muscles surged like waves, and the damage Naruto caused to him disappeared in a few breaths. Of course Naruto would not be scared by his changes, but after taking a set of Naruto's attacks, Shenning had stronger muscles, which showed that he had a reaction speed that exceeded Naruto's. Wow! After taking a Rasengan, there are only a few minor injuries on his body. This body is quite strong. No wonder he dares to boast of the ultimate body. Why do I feel that Shenning has made further progress in the research of regeneration than Tsunade? It seems that Tsunade can only recover quickly, but Shenning can not only recover, but according to him, the more he is attacked, the stronger his muscles will become. Although it is difficult to deal with, Shenning's explanation also exposes his weaknesses, doesn't it? Destruction and regeneration are obviously opposites, so as long as the destruction is greater than the regeneration, a one-hit kill is the best strategy. It's easy to say, this guy is still fine after taking a Rasengan from Naruto. How powerful a move must be used to ensure a one-hit kill. If he can't be killed, he will become stronger. Don't scare yourself. That guy must be very troubled now. Orochimaru laughed softly. His hoarse voice sounded malicious. The plan was exposed before it was successful. Now the only way out is to take his team and go overseas. Shenning must be very unwilling, so let me help you. Orochimaru summoned a white snake, stuffed a scroll into its mouth, and arranged a task about Shenning. Shenning appeared behind Naruto in an instant, and said softly in his horrified eyes, release the chakra generated by the ultimate body, and the final result is this ultimate blow, the super active punch. A ball of black and red chakra condensed in Shenning's palm, and hit his lower back before Naruto could react, knocking him flying and knocking him down on the chair where Shenning was sitting before. It's so gratifying that you can still live after taking my punch. But you scratched my throne, please atone for your sin. Shenning walked over slowly, grabbed Naruto's hair and prepared to lift him up. At this time, Naruto's real body flashed behind him and punched him, but Shenning reacted instantly and hit him hard in the abdomen with his knee, then flew into the air and hit the shadow clone lying on the chair. Shenning, this guy, keeps talking about his chair. Isn't he being serious and funny? The more I look at it, the weirder it gets. Is it Naruto? Is the human body too strong, or is Shenning's attack power not enough? What super active punch? Naruto doesn't seem to be injured. Maybe it's internal injuries, at least Naruto was lying down. Come on, fight back, use the dark power you have. Shenning fell from the air and persuaded Naruto to use his hidden power. Naruto naturally refused directly. After taking a few breaths, he got up again and rushed towards the opponent, but he was beaten away by Shenning again without any ability to fight back. Why refuse? Zero Tail has already told me that there is a power dormant in your body that I am interested in. The confident Shenning wanted to test the power of the dark chakra he had just obtained through the power of the tailed beast in Naruto's body, but the more he persuaded, the more determined Naruto was to not use the power of the nine tails. After being knocked away several times, Naruto still attacked without getting discouraged, and punched Shenning in the face. However, this angry blow only made Shenning turn his head slightly. The dark power that Shenning mentioned is the power of the tailed beast in Naruto's body, or the energy generated by his negative emotions. Both. Isn't there a legend that the Nine Tails is the incarnation of disaster? Its power is 100% dark power. Strange, after all, he is the leader of a village. Doesn't Shenning know how powerful the Nine Tails is? Where on earth does he get the confidence to think that he and the so-called Zero Tails can compete with the Nine Tails? So far, many top ninjas have appeared in Shenmue, but it is not entirely true to say that these people are more powerful than the tailed beasts. These are the first few people who do not take the power of the tailed beast seriously. Anyway, from Shennen's current performance, I don't see how he is stronger than the power of the tailed beasts. I feel that he is not as powerful as Naruto, who created a tail in the Valley of the End, chapter 296. Don't jump to conclusions too soon. Maybe Shennen suppressed his strength on purpose. If it's true as he said, Zero Tail can really absorb negative emotions to get unlimited dark chakra. Even if the output is not as good as the real tailed beast, it is definitely not easier to deal with than the tailed beast. Naruto, this is. No, that's it. The so-called power gained by accumulation over time that you believe in is just this after all. The bruises on Shennen's face disappeared quickly. He held Naruto's fist with both hands, and Naruto couldn't break free no matter how hard he struggled. He continued to say, humans are very fragile. They don't have sharp teeth and claws. They can't do anything except cry. But why can such humans stand at the top of the world? It's because humans are the cruelest among all creatures. Shennen showed a ferocious smile, and instantly punched Naruto in the abdomen with a few punches, and then a dark chakra attack knocked him away again. Hey, the Rasengan just now could only cause a little damage, but how come Naruto's fist has become even more powerful now? Ha. I suddenly remembered that Shennen's so-called strengthening is achieved through the destruction and regeneration of the body, so isn't Naruto just repeating this process now? How, after what you said, it suddenly seems that Shennen doesn't have any advantages. After all, as long as Naruto gets excited, his attack power will also increase. From Shennen's tone, he looks down on those who practice hard to become stronger. Is he too proud of his success? From his current performance, he seems to be qualified to look down on them. This is a bit unreasonable. Doesn't he have to work hard to study Zero Tail in medical ninjutsu? It can only be said that the methods are different. A lot of twisted logic. Just fight if you want to. Whining, why are you talking so much? After all, why did Shennen lead Naruto and the others to the fortress? Don't tell me it was just to show off his new power and enjoy Yuliu's collapsed expression. That's right, just to seek a slightly more advantageous position than other species, humans gathered together to achieve the current prosperity. It is not the so-called human love that created this power. Shennen's tone was full of disdain for love. Naruto, who was beaten and bruised all over, got up again under the stimulation of his words and limped towards Shennen. Nonsense, I just learned some strange techniques. What's so exciting about it? Although I don't like to say those disgusting words, but I like my teacher, my companions and the lustful immortals. I like them. I like them so much. At the end, Naruto roared and rushed towards Shennen, and then was beaten and flew to Yuliu again. Naruto is the one who has the ultimate body. He has been defeated so many times. I feel that Shennen is very tired even through the sky. Naruto said that he doesn't like to say corny words, but he obviously says all kinds of corny words. Naruto, I'm telling you the truth. The words you said are difficult to say under normal circumstances. You can't express your dislike in this situation. Is it popular to discuss love and hate during battles? Otherwise, why do these people like to talk about these words so much? Shennen, you with thick eyebrows and big eyes, just use your fists to knock Naruto down. Why you have to convince him verbally? Naruto, I heard Sasuke say these nonsense a few years ago. Enough, stop it, it's my fault. What can I say to someone like you, master? Love? Ha. Looking at the invincible Naruto, Shennen became impatient. Then let me ask you, what did Yuliu's love finally get in return? Without a doubt, it only brought you pain. Shennen's ridicule made Yuliu, who was immersed in sadness, fall into deeper despair. Naruto glanced at her and rushed forward with a roar to interrupt Shennen's ridicule, and then took another chakra shock and flew back. Naruto's action slightly suppressed Yuliu's despair. She looked at Naruto at a loss, feeling his determination to never give up. Ha, I said Shennen would be impatient. If you want to fight, just fight. Why debate? Although I don't want to discuss this, Shennen's words are all twisted logic. Why does Yuliu's love bring pain? Isn't it because you, Lao Dang, deceived her? If she were a normal person, would she be like this now? What's going on with Naruto? Why is he always rushing forward to get beaten? Is Shennen serious? He's not just playing around, is he? Don't forget your dream of conquering the ninja world. Serious? Damn it, I can't stand it anymore. Another guy who wants to kill himself. He doesn't kill me but keeps provoking me with words. He's really afraid that he won't die fast enough. Naruto's faith is commendable, but it can't make up for the gap in strength. Facing his endless entanglement, Shannon greeted him with heavier punches and kicks, and finally hit Naruto with a heavy active punch, causing him to spit blood. Yuliu hugged Naruto, who was flying over, and looked at Shannon fiercely. Noticing her eyes, Shannon was not angry but happy, and even praised her in return. Haha, your eyes are good, Yuliu. Don't forget this hatred, and never forgive me. Shannon raised his head and laughed heartily. Yuliu took out the scalpel and prepared to put an end to it, but she couldn't help but think of what Dr. Shannon had taught her in the past. Yuliu's determination, which had been aroused with great difficulty, instantly dissipated, and tears could not stop flowing. Oh, I blamed Shannon wrongly. It's not that this guy didn't try hard. It's that even if he tried hard, he couldn't do anything to Naruto. So what if he was beaten and vomited blood? He just took a breath and got up. What dark chakra, what tailed beast power, what dark power, the healing effect is so good that it's scary. Speaking of which, Shannon has no other means? He is really a pure physical ninja. Even if you take out a kunai, I can think you have ulterior motives. You said so much just to stimulate Yuliu and Naruto to produce dark chakra? Shannon, this guy, is not going to keep them forever? Oh, it's really inexplicable. Why am I here to watch a little girl's miserable drama? Chapter 297. So I shouldn't have brought Yuliu here from the beginning. Naruto is not fit to be a leader at all. He is too impulsive. Yuliu, I can still fight. It's okay if you can't hold back your sadness and regret. Let me bear it all. Naruto stood up while spitting blood and threatened Shannon not far away. Unfortunately, Naruto's encouragement could not cheer Yuliu up. She apologized to Naruto in her heart while raising the scalpel to her throat, stabbing it hard in the memory of her teacher. Suddenly, a solid and warm chest pressed against Yuliu's back. Naruto hugged Yuliu to block the scalpel that was stabbing down. He ignored the pain in his arm and whispered in her ear, "No, it's not like that. You have to live, so, you have to make a break, right? You haven't confessed yet, haven't you? You haven't conveyed it to him yet. You should tell that person your feelings, right?" Naruto is really busy. Not only does he have to fight the enemy, but he also has to comfort people. It's his personality. If Naruto didn't like to meddle in other people's business, there wouldn't be so many stories. What the hell? Is this how you persuade Yuliu? You know Shenlong is a firebed, but you still want to push her into it. I don't know how you understand it. Did Naruto say that he wanted to end it? He clearly wanted Yuliu to express his feelings, and then use this to completely turn the page on Shenlong. Compared to Shenlong's deception, it is easier for Yuliu to get over Shenlong's death. Just treat him as a dead person, and as for the one in front of you, just pretend you didn't see it. Yuliu's expression gradually became relieved. Although she couldn't stop her tears from flowing, her face was no longer desperate. This is the first time I've been praised by someone. It's the first time that someone has praised me. It's the first time that someone has taught me what to do. Yuliu ripped open Naruto's sleeves and bandaged him while expressing her feelings for her teacher. For the first time, I thought about whether I was pretty, how he felt about me. All I could think about was the teacher's things. Faced with Yuliu's affectionate confession, Shenlong had a half smile on his face. However, Yuliu no longer paid attention to these things. He just wanted to shout out all his feelings. For the first time, I wanted to be liked by others, and I wanted to be liked by him. I always. I like the teacher the most, Yuliu will. He looks a bit like a girl, although he's a bit blind. I can't help it, I met an old man with ulterior motives. It's really unfair. This old guy is liked by young girls, but a handsome guy like me is still single. Let Yuliu finish what he wanted to say. Shenlong couldn't help but burst into hysterical laughter, and Naruto, whose anger had accumulated to the limit, finally couldn't bear it anymore. He rushed forward and punched Shenlong in the face. Dozens of shadow clones followed closely behind, cursing and beating him, and then knocked him away and knocked down the throne that Shenlong was very satisfied with. You, absolutely, unforgivable. Naruto raised the Rasengan and prepared to deliver the final blow. Suddenly, accompanied by a sharp cry, the Rasengan in Naruto's hand was actually knocked away. Naruto looked in the direction of the thunder in doubt. A familiar figure was sitting there, Sasuke. What are you? Look, Naruto's strength has increased again. Not surprising at all. Looking at Shenan's expression that deserves a beating, I know this is the development. No. Don't you find it strange at all? I know that when people are angry, they can do things that they can't do at other times, but the reversal here is really too inexplicable. Before, they had to use the tail beast chakra to strengthen it, but here they just relied on anger to make the arrogant beast. Is it reasonable to beat Shannon like this? I think it's reasonable. Naruto can kill the enemy even when his chest is pierced. With his tenacity, it's normal for him to behave like this. Why are people more and more optimistic about Naruto? Isn't it because of this? What's there to doubt? Sasuke is finally here. If it's delayed for a while, Naruto will have solved his target. Sasuke didn't even look at Naruto, jumped in front of Shannon, and said in a flat voice, "It's actually in this situation, but Orochimaru seems to want to borrow your power." My power? If I say no, are you going to force me to surrender by force? Sasuke's commanding tone made Shannon very unhappy, but he was Sasuke and the state of sunlight pillar obviously wouldn't say anything nice, and responded bluntly, "If you have such expectations." Shannon was amused by Sasuke's attitude, and suddenly stood up and took an attacking stance, eager to say, "A tiger in a plane is bullied by a dog. Do you think the dark chakra has disappeared? Too naive? The darkness in my heart is like a spiral filing the whole world. Now I will use the activation technique." Sasuke's level of speech is so infuriating that even people who could have cooperated with him would refuse because of his attitude. I think it is impossible for Orochimaru not to understand Shannon's character. Since he decided to let Sasuke take action, probably intending to forcibly take the person away. You can't expect Sasuke to take a person who wants to take his body seriously. To be honest, I was a little surprised when he accepted the task entrusted to him by Orochimaru. "Give it a try." Sasuke interrupted Shannon with a nonchalant look, and then appeared behind him in an instant. "It's okay, just give it a try." Sasuke casually repelled Shannon like he was throwing away garbage, and challenged him expressionlessly, "Let me see it quickly." Sasuke's pretentious attack made Naruto feel a little bad, and he quickly told Shannon about his ability to become stronger when attacked. Shannon, who was repeatedly provoked, glared at Sasuke, and a huge amount of dark chakra surged again, but it all dissipated in an instant. Shannon's face changed drastically and he knelt on the ground. His thick hair turned from black to white and quickly fell off, leaving only the temples and the ends of his hair. His originally muscular body also shrank rapidly as if it were shrinking. Wow! Sasuke is so cool. It seems he has never been beaten by society. Funny, if you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 298. Except for his brother and Naruto, when has he ever been wronged? If I had his strength, I would be 100 times more arrogant than him. By the way, isn't Naruto's attitude a bit strange? He was so calm after seeing Sasuke. He doesn't look like the crying and depressed look after failure before. After all, he is in front of the enemy. Although he values Sasuke very much, Naruto shouldn't be so confused about priorities in such an occasion, just talking casually. Since he defeated two shadows with his shadow clones, who would underestimate him now? The main reason is that he was too obsessed with Sasuke before. Hey, what did Sasuke do? Why did Shannon become like this? Look, what dark chakra. Although I don't know what happened, but I became like this by accident. Why do I feel that the negative effects of this regeneration technique are exactly the same as Tsunade's creative regeneration, both of which are unable to maintain a young appearance and age rapidly? Didn't you listen to Shannon's explanation just now? The principle of this move is indeed the same as Tsunade's move, and it also has a strengthening effect. According to Shizun's previous explanation, this method of accelerating cell division will reduce lifespan. Naruto and Yuliu were shocked by Shannon's changes. Only Sasuke walked towards Shannon with an unchanged expression. "What's wrong? Can't you recover? What did you do to me?" Shannon asked weakly, and Sasuke did not hide the answer directly. "Your chakra flow has long been seen by my eyes. It seems you didn't notice Chidori-senbon. Could it be that you disturbed my acupuncture control?" When Shannon belatedly remembered the pricking sensation just now, and Sasuke answered Shannon's question and said, I won't take your life, but you have to go with me to Orochimaru. Hey. Can Shennen's trick be invalidated by blocking the acupuncture points? Doesn't that mean that all Hyuga ninjas are his nemesis? Speaking of Hyuga, where's Hinata? Did she discover some strange chakra like Sasuke? Why is she nowhere to be seen? Although it was a sneak attack, Sasuke easily disintegrated Shennen's moves, while Naruto was beaten so badly. Without counting the power of the tailed beast, the difference in strength between Naruto and Sasuke is so huge. How big is it? It's so strange. Sasuke didn't show any special moves. Why do you think Naruto is no match for him? Naruto can create 2,000 shadow clones, and each of them has a Rasengan. Why do I think he will lose to Sasuke? Without Susanoo, Sasuke's only ultra-large-scale move seems to be the key Rin move. This is enough to deal with Naruto's shadow clone army and Rasengan. The reason why I think Naruto has little chance of winning is that he won't use this kind of combination punch to deal with Sasuke, and in a small-scale battle, Naruto's strength is indeed worse than Sasuke. No. I think what you said are just secondary reasons. The key is that Sasuke is so pretentious. His relaxed attitude and Naruto's noisy performance, normal people will think he is more powerful. Naruto nodded in agreement. Sasuke was indeed arrogant and pretentious. Of course, he would never admit that he was not as good as Sasuke. Orochimaru didn't want me, but the scroll stolen from Konoha? Shennen knew that if Sasuke's request was not met, he would most likely have a hard time leaving the hall, so he took out a scroll from the secret compartment of the hall's support column and threw it to Sasuke, then pulled the mechanism when his eyes were away, and then a passage appeared under his feet, allowing him to quickly escape from here. Despite this, Sasuke didn't seem to have any intention of letting Shennen go. He instantly disappeared from the spot and followed Shennen's chakra. Naturally, Naruto would not miss this opportunity to chase Sasuke, so he walked up to Yuliu and encouraged him. Yuliu, I'm going to chase him. Just like Yuliu said, he may still be saved. If you want to give up, you can do it at any time. So you have to save the people in the village. This is the teaching of your mentor, right? What the hell? How do you manage Konoha's data? Can this kind of thing be stolen casually? I thought Orochimaru helped, but it turned out to be Shennen's work alone. The Zero-Tail Resurrection Technique, the Scroll of the Regeneration Technique, and I don't know if there are other data stolen. This is basically a purchase from Konoha. This regeneration technique is not the same as Tsunade's, and was modified by Shennen into the current in this state. Tsunade rubbed her brows, wishing she could run to the hospital right now to pull the unconscious third Hokage back to work. What a mess this has left for her. Hey, Shizune, send someone to the intelligence department and the data room to check how much data and intelligence has been lost. Shennen seems to have some trump cards, but it's his own fault that he has fallen into this situation. Obviously, if he hadn't led Naruto and the others here, nothing would have happened. The trump card, that Zero-Tail, wasn't there a picture showing it recondensing before? Don't forget the fortress under their feet. Shennen called it the ultimate destruction weapon. No matter how ultimate it is, can it do anything to Naruto and the others who are inside? Is the he that Naruto is talking about to Yuliu referring to Sasuke or Shennen? Why does it sound a bit perfunctory? He wants to chase Sasuke, and then deliberately finds an excuse to get rid of Yuliu. Don't doubt it, that's it. So the two of them acted separately. Naruto followed closely behind Sasuke, watching him use Chidori Blade to open a secret passage, and kept asking, Sasuke, wait? When did you come? Tell me. Sasuke rushed to a cylindrical plot of land, and saw dense and twisted lines carved on the surrounding walls. Naruto, who was a step slower, also came over quickly, holding Sasuke's shoulders and looking down. What's going on? The giant cocoon that carried the resurrected Zero-Tail was hung below the space, and Shennen stood in front of the giant cocoon and laughed sharply. I followed you so happily, you idiots. Here it comes. As soon as the enemy is gone, Naruto's attitude towards Sasuke immediately changed. Chapter 299. Why do I feel like I'm acting like a spoiled child? Naruto, be more normal. Ha. Sasuke's reaction is also weird. Did he forget what he said before? I'll take Naruto's life if I'm in a whim? Why does he let Naruto put his arm around him? It's well known that Naruto has no sense of boundaries, but Sasuke doesn't mind Naruto's closeness at all. This guy just talks big. After all, he is Sasuke's best friend. As long as Naruto doesn't affect his revenge, This level of closeness should be within his acceptable range. Here it comes again. Sasuke was speechless watching the interaction between Naruto and himself on the sky screen. It was just a very ordinary shoulder-to-shoulder gesture. What on earth are these people talking about? Sasuke admitted that he had a little feeling of sympathy for Naruto, but that was all. After all, his hatred for Konoha had not been eliminated yet, so how could he have the heart to play a friend game with Naruto? Don't think too much? Don't think too much? The man on the sky screen has nothing to do with any now except for some past experiences. Now Itachi, Naruto and Konoha's affairs are not important. I just need to keep getting stronger. As long as I get stronger, I can solve most of the problems. Sasuke patted his forehead and forced himself to look at the progress of the sky screen as a bystander. What is Shenning so excited about? He should also know that Zero Tail has been killed by Naruto once before. Now there's Sasuke. Where does he get the confidence to think that he is their opponent? Did Naruto clearly state that he would not use the power of the tailed beasts? Perhaps this gave Shennin confidence. Naruto, who was ridiculed, immediately retorted to Shennin in anger, and Sasuke, who was even more ruthless and spoke little, used Chidori, but he didn't expect that the chakra he had just condensed in his hand would be instantly dispersed, and the Zero Tail that floated below merged into its body. Seeing this scene, Shennin said proudly, "How about it? Chidori can't be used. As long as you stand here, the chakra you release will be absorbed by the Zero Tail and converted into the power of Ankbandian, so don't even think about using ninjutsu here." Such a small trouble naturally didn't scare Naruto. If the ninjutsu can't be used, then use fists and feet. It's better to say that this is more in line with his idea, so he jumped down from the entrance without thinking and faced Shennin and Zero Tail directly. The Zero Tail didn't show the ability to absorb chakra before. Did it have this ability after combining with this fortress? I have demonstrated it before. Did it Shenlong absorb the dark chakra of Yu Liu? This is a bit difficult. Not only the dark chakra, but also the normal chakra can be absorbed. It is very troublesome to deal with such a large monster with pure physical skills. It would be easy if I had the power of Tsunade. I don't know if the ninjutsu of Raikage will be affected. If the chakra can be absorbed, it will be the same for you. Sasuke was much calmer in comparison, and he didn't think he would lose in the case that he couldn't use ninjutsu either, so he also jumped down and landed beside Naruto, looking at the two little ghosts in front of him who didn't take him seriously at all. Shenlong laughed angrily. "Two optimistic guys. If it was just to seal the chakra, why would I bring you to the center of Ankbandian?" As he spoke, Shennin controlled the dark chakra to flow into the cocoon. As if stimulated, a large amount of cocoon silk shot out from the giant cocoon and wrapped around his body, pulling it up and slowly merging with the Zero Tail in the cocoon. This turned out to be the core of this fortress. Isn't it obvious that Naruto and his friends are going to destroy it? Shennin is still so confident. Things like trump cards should not be placed in such important places normally. It is not impossible to cause trouble to the 5 major ninja countries with careful planning. Just because of Shennin, a leader with a problem in his brain, he has not succeeded yet, so he likes to show off so much. Maybe he has been hiding his identity for decades, and he wants to show off to others too much. Until now, I still don't understand why Shennin sent people to attack Konoha. Maybe it was for Naruto, but he is obviously more concerned about Yu Liu. Do you think Ankbandian is just a flying fortress? If that's all, how could I touch something as dangerous as the tailed beast? This fortress is the ultimate weapon that can instantly destroy the 5 great ninja nations. Just watch. Shennin's body is completely integrated into the Zero Tail body inside, accompanied by his roar. Huge amounts of energy were transmitted from Zero Tail's body along the cocoon silk into the fortress, instantly lighting up the patterns on the surrounding walls. Outside the fortress, huge amounts of energy quickly condensed, and then erupted as a beam of energy, which shattered a mountain and rushed to the sea with undiminished power, effortlessly wiping out the remaining fleet on the sea, leaving the 4 people on the coast dumbfounded. Tailed beast. Is this Zero Tail really a tailed beast? There is no record of this thing in the village. Where did Shennin find this thing? If we look at the name alone, even if this thing is really a tailed beast, it must be the weakest of the tailed beasts. It's just that its current ability is quite powerful. I don't know if it can compete with other tailed beasts during the war. In the Pure Land, Uchiha Madara frowned slightly. Even he, the orthodox descendant of the 6 paths, didn't know that there was a so-called Zero Tail among the tailed beasts. The Uchiha stone tablet didn't mention this at all. It couldn't be that the six-path sage forgot to write it down when he recorded it. Uchiha Madara guessed that perhaps the six-path sage left a little residue when he dispersed the chakra of the 10 tails, and then it was obtained by Shinin and cultivated before it became the thing on the sky curtain. Since it is a residue, it is highly likely that it will not affect the recovery of the 10 tails, because the outer path demon statue has only 9 eye sockets on its face. Even if the zero-tail does affect the formation of the 10 tail, it would only take a little more effort. After his resurrection, there would be no one in the ninja world who could resist him. The clown Shinin would naturally be ignored by him. Hiss. The attack power of this fortress is very strong. Fortunately, it didn't have this ability during World War II, otherwise we would have been hit by a few shells. Chapter 300. It's really powerful, but it can't be said to destroy the 5 great nations in an instant. Can Shinin stop bragging so much? Who knows if this is its output limit? It may also be that the zero-tail has not absorbed enough energy at this time. Since its owner has said so, we should treat it as the real thing for the sake of safety and get rid of it as soon as possible. I understand the reason, but why did Shinin attack his own fleet? Could it be that this fortress couldn't see the situation outside when it launched the attack? This guy has caused more damage to the land of the sky than those people in Konoha, much more powerful, and even deliberately launched an attack on Konoha before the plan was launched to remind them of their existence. Shinin is actually an undercover planted by Konoha among them. It seems that the dark chakra has damaged his brain, and he is crazy and messed up. After a demonstration attack that scared the wrong person, Shinin's arrogance was revealed in his tone without any concealment. See, the power of the kingdom of the sky. As long as the 5 major ninja countries are destroyed, this huge aerial fortress can dominate the world. What a joke. How can you succeed in such a thing? Naruto and Sasuke crossed forward and attacked tacitly. Shinin roared and released dozens of white arms from Zero Tail. Sasuke dodged and quickly closed the distance between them, but because there were too many arms, one of them was accidentally caught. Sasuke. Naruto, who was fighting against several arms head-on, shouted immediately when he saw this, and then he was caught by an arm and raised high without noticing. What did you see? Naruto and Sasuke have no idea what happened. Not only do they not know, Shinin probably doesn't know that he blew his fleet to pieces with one shot. At most, I felt a surge of energy. Shinin is really out of his mind. Although he is crazy, his mind is wrong, and he is inexplicably confident. This fortress in the Kingdom of Sky is actually a big threat to all countries. Not only is the attack range far, but the power is also amazing. If Naruto and his friends hadn't interfered, this thing would have fired a few shots at various ninja villages, and even the 5 major ninja villages would have been seriously injured. Naruto and Sasuke, these 2 guys, immediately cooperated when they had a common enemy. You can't tell that they have been separated for several years. They cooperated, but they were also affected by each other. I don't know how to evaluate it. Hey, I'll start with you, Sasuke. Shinin looked at Sasuke in front of him and grinned. Naruto, who was also captured, struggled and shouted loudly to attract Shinin's attention. You bastard. Let Sasuke go. Let Sasuke go. In the passage leading to the bottom of the fortress, Yu Liu found the villagers imprisoned there after searching. The curse seals arranged around made the prisoners in the entire prison powerless, and also blocked those who wanted to enter the prison. Yu Liu, who couldn't even touch the prison railings, was a little at a loss. Hinata, who was also imprisoned in the prison at some point, reminded him, don't touch it. This prison is absorbing chakra. Hiss. Oh my. Please, Naruto, can you take care of yourself a little? I know you value Sasuke, but there's really no need to talk about him all the time. This level of concern is indeed a bit too much. He is probably stronger than you now. Don't treat him like a child. No wonder Uchiha Itachi entrusted Sasuke to Naruto, because Naruto is more desperate than him. I never thought that the relationship between Sasuke and Naruto would become so awkward. Ino complained weakly. She now felt a little sympathetic to Sakura, who actually got involved between the 2 of them. Naruto is just taking it too seriously. Shikamaru couldn't help but explain for Naruto, but even he felt awkward after saying it, and said with empty eyes, it's really troublesome. Hey. Why is Hinata locked up? I was wondering where Hinata went, and she was caught. Could it be that there are other masters in the Sky Country besides Shinin? Don't say that she was caught by those sky ninjas wearing the same clothes, then I have to complain. Is this little girl a pure medical ninja? But that's not right. If she doesn't have the ability to protect herself, how can she act alone? Hong looked at Hinata, who was lying in her arms and hadn't woken up yet, a little helpless. She knew that Hinata worked hard, but her personality was so inferior that she often, since he couldn't show his strength, it wasn't unusual for him to be captured when he was acting alone. Fortunately, Hinata fainted and didn't see what happened on the sky, otherwise she would probably become even more inferior in the future, and he must find a way to change this personality. Under Hinata's guidance, Yu Liu found the hub of the chakra absorption device placed on the ceiling, and with the encouragement of the kind teacher in the past, he took out a scalpel and successfully destroyed it. In the central room of the fortress, Shannon, who was disturbed by Naruto's loud voice, swung his arms unceremoniously and knocked Naruto and Sasuke together. Looking at their embarrassed appearance, he laughed. "What's wrong? Can't use chakra? You are helpless. Two brats. You are so shameless. If you don't turn into that kind of monster, you can't even beat a brats. What's the point of being so arrogant?" Naruto's mouth has never been soft. He retorted to Shannon without thinking. Enraged by his words, Shannon released more arms to hit Naruto, and at the same time emphasized his identity. "Hardmouth brat, let you know how powerful the Sky Overlord is. These small countries suppress and seal chakra by pretending to be it is realized by the placement, the Snow Country before, and the Sky Country now. Each has its own advantages. Although it is more convenient than the sealing technique, it is very easy to be cracked." Yu Liu, an ordinary person, directly lifted the suppression of the entire prison. Shannon is not good. Wasn't he quite arrogant just now? Now he is irritated by a few words from Naruto. Just now it was a favorable situation, and now it is unfavorable. The attitude is naturally different. It's really shabby. You can't even measure how much weight you have, and you dare to call yourself the overlord of the sky. Do you want to cover up your patheticness? It's really funny. Without worrying about Naruto at all, Sasuke looked at Zero Tail with a calm face and laughed at him. As he said that, Sasuke activated the curse seal, and the natural energy flowed into Shannon's body along Zero Tail's arm. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.